All right. Welcome back to the Military Retirement Podcast, streaming every Sunday. We've been doing it for like the last year and a half, almost 2 years. And here again, we stream on the Green Logbook YouTube channel, on the Military Retirement Podcast YouTube channel, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, all over the place. And great enough to announce that these episodes get forwarded over to the REITs Across America Radio Network, which streams on Friday nights. So great stuff there. Thank you all for joining me. Let me see, hit the comments here real quick. Hey, good morning, Navy Cop. Jason Miyamoto, good morning. Good morning. So as you see, it's just me this morning, right now at least. My co-host, John, who is usually on here with me every Sunday, had to take a work trip. So he's not gone forever, just this week, which means that leaves room for some co-hosts, some potential co-hosts. So the cool thing is that I put it out there on a YouTube post. If anybody want to jump on and be a co-host for a few minutes, however long you want, right? Couple minutes, then we'll get into somebody else, get into another co-host, hear your story, talk about what's going on, talk about life after the military. Hey, that's what we're here for on the Military Retirement Podcast. So I'm going to share this in the comments here. Paste. Let's see if anybody wants to jump on the live stream. Live stream. Here we go. Boom shakalaka. Oh, no crap. Boom shakalaka. There you go. I was wondering why I was going to say that, but Oliver Rust, my man, welcome. Navy Cop, welcome to the Military Retirement Podcast and the Green Logbook and all the other places. Jason Miyamoto, welcome. Good morning. Oliver Rust, 8993. Good morning. So if you'd like to jump on the live stream. So today is going to be question and answers. Viewers can call in, whether it's audio, whether it is video, whatever it is. You don't have to have your video camera on, but it is cool to converse with and have that human interaction with the veteran community, with another person, right? It's cool to be on the comments and on the chat, but when you actually get to talk to somebody else, then that is a whole different dynamic. One thing I wanted to bring up here, and I was just perusing the internet as I normally do, and I saw this one on The Guardian. It says, a veteran is running a psilocybin. Am I saying that right? Psilocybin retreats for PTSD before FDA approval. And I'm curious about that because I've been reading a lot about these like psychedelics being introduced. And I know that there is some legislation that has been, it's kind of in the works to allow for testing of psychedelics for veterans. And I've heard folks what is that? No, I've heard folks talk about and advocate for that, like how psychedelics, things like, or even like marijuana, if the VA can issue that, how much it would help veterans. Now, there's still a lot of research and testing that is happening with that. So stand by for that. I've been reading a whole lot of it. And whether or not it's going to get passed, I don't know. Right now, they have like the medical marijuana stuff. Right now, you can actually, here in California, you can just go down the street and buy it. But as far as the VA assigning you that stuff, yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, Jason Miyamoto, yeah, do the AI face, do the whatever the Raider does, right? Do the AI face, looking like George Michaels. Yeah, so let me bring that up to the screen right quick. Share the screen. So this is interesting. I don't forget all the ads. I don't know why this page has so many freaking ads. They just keep popping up. Anyway, I didn't want to be on medication the rest of my life. Veterans run psilocybin retreats for PTSD before FDA approval. Researchers say magic mushrooms can help with traumatic symptoms, but urge caution as states expand access. Right after 3 combat deployments in Afghanistan, during which he suffered traumatic brain injuries from concussive blasts, Army Ranger Jesse Gould developed post-traumatic stress disorder and said he drank almost every night to cope in hard times. In times of hardship, veterans sometimes turn to medication and talk therapy, but it tends to be more of a maintenance program than actually overcoming it. So very interesting. I'll drop this link in the I'll drop this link in the comments here if anybody wants to read it. We'll talk a little bit more about it, and very curious about it because that would be something of a breakthrough if the VA actually starts accepting or starts giving out like these psychedelics for the mental health of veterans. Looks like we got somebody on the line here. Let me remove this here. Is this Oliver Rust? Sir, how are you? Good morning.
Guilty.
What's going on? How are you?
This is new. I've never done this, so you got to bear with me.
No, you're doing great, man. You're doing great. Trust me.
Hey, I grew up with a one knob Etch a Sketch, so you got to give me some credit.
Back and forth. Was it up and down or horizontal?
I do not recall, Senator.
It was diagonal.
It was the left knob. I'm left-handed, so it was up and down.
Oh, up and down. Okay. So, man, hey, you know what? I've seen you in the comments, man, and I truly appreciate you jumping on and commenting and chatting, man. Truly appreciate that. So where are you calling in from?
Well, long story short, I'm up north in Indiana because my mother had cancer, but whatever. I'm from, after I retired, I went down to Texas, Oklahoma, back where I came from. But,
right on. That's good. So how, Indiana, so how long I know you're taking care of stuff out there.
Yeah,
you're
I'm not
out there
worried
for the
about it
meantime?
anymore. She survived it twice, so
Okay.
I'm gonna punch out. I got a house in the Philippines. I'm going there, and I'm never coming back. I know it sounds
okay. I need to hear about this. So are you retired or did you get after?
Oh yeah, I retired. Yeah.
Okay, tell me about that, man. You retired what? When did you retire? What'd you retire as?
Late 2000s, 2010.
Okay, gotcha.
So
Were you like
I guess it's been a minute, but we probably chewed the same dirt you were in.
Yeah, I'm sure we have. Right around late 2000s, 2010. I was in I was just heading out to MCIS Iwakuni around that time from Camp Lejeune. So right around there.
I touched base in Iwakuni, but I'd never my father was stationed there in Iwakuni. He's a jarhead too. But I was always on Camp Schwab. I always did the West Packs. Always.
Okay, yeah. Schwab. That's over in is that
Okinawa?
Schwab? Okinawa, yeah. Yeah, I did Staff Academy over in Camp Hansen, many moons ago. Yeah, so there's nothing out there. They got the Shangri-La right outside the base, and that's about it.
That is so. There's too much truth in that. Sweet 8-pound baby Jesus. That is truth in that. I went to the Staff Academy and I don't know, outside of Lejeune. I can't remember what other smaller base it was, but that's 100 years ago.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely an experience out there. But I rather enjoyed Okinawa. It was a nice kind of change of scenery from Iwakuni. It's more tropical out there, right?
Yes, it is.
So I want to ask you, man. Now that you brought up Philippines, man, when did this happen? When did you decide that you wanted to do the Philippines, and why?
Well, I went to, real quick. I'm not going to give you. I'm going to give you a short backstory because I don't want to waste everybody's time. But I went to. Been to Okinawa 3 times, and they sent me to the Philippines, and I was there for like a year. Anyway, flash forward, I met this girl, Oklahoma, and she's Filipino. She got dual citizenship, so now I got a house over there. I wound up paying rent, and no, she's not a scammer. I've known her for like 7 years. She's a kung fu instructor, and whatever. She's making money when she can. And I'm going over there. I'm up in Indiana. I froze my ass off, and I want to go where it's tropical.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that. So is it? I know that the Philippines is one of the only, I think, the only country that has outside the U.S. that has a VA facility there in Manila.
That's
Is that where
true.
you're going to be
Yeah.
around there in
No,
Manila?
I'll be south there. I'll be in Davao, but it doesn't matter. But you are correct. And you know what the good thing is about the Philippines?
What's
There's
that?
only two countries on the planet where you can post bail. That's America and the Philippines. I
So
said,
you got it
thank you.
covered.
Hey, thank you, sweet 8-pound baby Jesus.
You got it covered, man. Yeah. So your retirement will go a long way out there, I hear.
And
I know.
I got a beer delivery man. He's going to deliver beer to
What?
the front door. Yeah, he's going to deliver
Okay.
it.
All
Oh,
right.
no. He delivers it. I don't have to go. I don't have to do nothing
Wow.
except
Wow, man.
paying pesos, and you know,
That's it.
I got
Living the life, man.
my coffee, my tobacco, and my beer. I got to have them. That's my food group.
Your food. That's. I like that. I like that. That's good. Don't forget coffee, man. You drink any coffee?
I drink coffee. I'm a coffeeholic.
Okay, good, good. So make sure you get that delivered possibly as well. They may have some good coffee out in the Philippines.
Yeah, doesn't matter. I'll order it out if I have to get my brand. You know.
Yeah. No,
Hey,
that's
I
good.
forgot.
So,
On a quick note, I forgot the
yeah.
name of that website that you said you had your little canteen cup from.
Oh gosh, I cannot remember. I'll find it here. It was actually my co-host John that found it. And actually
It was
I'll let
Devil
you know right here.
something or like
It's
Devil
probably like
Dog.
Devil Dog Shop or something.
All
Something like
right.
that. So I actually got this from the Camp Pendleton MCX probably like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
I stopped by there after a retirement, a friend's promotion, and I usually like on the way out because you got to go right past the Naval Hospital. I don't know if you've been to Camp Pendleton,
Yeah,
right
I've been
past the
there.
Naval Hospital. Yeah,
I've been
so they
there.
got
I've been there once or twice.
I had to go over to Del Mar to go to his promotion ceremony. So on the way out, I was like, I'm passing the MTX. Let me just grab one of these here.
I think it's great. I'm kind of jealous. I keep
Shit, man! If
thinking
you would have
about
let
it.
me know, if you would have let me know, I would have picked you up one, man. Sent it over to you.
Well, I didn't know they existed.
Yeah, right. It's just, and the thing is, it's awkward to hold because it's literally like the handle is right back here. If the handle was on the side, it'd be a little bit better, but then that
Yeah.
would put all the stress here, right? So like
You
that,
said it's
you got to figure out.
ceramic, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, ceramic. Let me see. Marine Canteen mug. Let me see here. They got a lot of them. I think Devil Dog Depot. There's a few of them there.
That's
But
it.
Devil
That's the
Dog
one you
Depot,
said.
yeah. So
That's the one.
I'm actually, it gives me an idea. I'm going to reach out to some of these folks and see if anybody wants to team up and then potentially get you all like a discount code or something like that for 10-20% off or whatever. So if you haven't bought one yet, maybe hold off a week, see if I can get a discount code for you guys.
But I do covet that. I do covet that cup.
Yeah, it's freaking amazing. It's just a little awkward, but if the handle ever breaks, you can still hold on to it, right?
I use the old tin ones too. I don't care.
Yeah, you got the jet boil and all that, making your coffee in the morning.
Remember, you're grounded.
Oh man, no. So all good, man. So when are you thinking heading out to the Philippines? When's that happening?
In the next couple months. It's been so cold. I'm like, I got a storage bin in Texas and in Kansas, and I got a lot. What I got here, I got to take to Kansas, and then I'm going to leave. And punch out, and I'll just let it sit and let my son. My son's a Navy pilot, so he's going to I said, take whatever you want, because I've got so many bang bangs that I can't take them on the plane.
Right. So why don't you have your son put it in his household goods, and that way he moves around with him?
That's what I told him. That's one of those things. You juggle too many balls, you're going to drop one.
Right.
In life.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the truth. So I said, here, give you the key. And he's a Navy pilot. And I'm like, just go get it. Whatever you want in there, just take it or just watch it, whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So are you going to keep a home is it Oklahoma or is it Texas? You're going to keep a home there while
No,
you're in the Philippines?
That's just another thing. I gotta iron that out, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do, if I have to do the VA loan somewhere, I don't care. But
yeah.
But I'm gonna bounce back and forth. But I'm going to the Philippines and I'm gonna dig in like an Alabama tick.
Yeah. You know what, man? I don't it's not a bad idea. It really isn't, because I mean you went from one Okie to the other Okie, Oklahoma, right? And now you're going
right. That's a funny way of putting it.
Yeah, one Okie to the other. So, but now you're going to a tropical spot, and I feel like as I get older too, I want that warmth instead of the cold. See, I grew up in New Jersey, and it was always snowing out there, cold as hell.
My son
I gotta get away
my
from
son was in Jersey. I was stationed there for about 3 years.
Yeah, where at?
Yeah. As a Marine and in the Army, I was at Fort Dix and Picatinny Arsenal.
Okay. Yeah, I know where Fort Dix is. Yeah, I don't know about the other one, but yeah, it gets cold up there, man. It really does.
You think? The only thing I liked about New Jersey in the wintertime is that they knew a storm was coming in off the Atlantic, and they would have the trucks and the plows and the waiting on standby before it even hit.
Yeah, and then spreading salt around there, huh?
But they did it. They were just on standby on the side of the road, and I was like, I've never seen that in any other state.
Well, it's every year. It's every year.
And I miss Wawa. I like their coffee and their meatball sandwiches.
Yeah. So, man, digging holes. I'm just reading some of these comments here real quick, man. Let me see if these guys are talking some smack out here.
They can talk smack about me. I don't get butthurt.
Jason Miyamoto says that is one port I wish we had gone to. We were one day before pulling into Philippines, but it got canceled. The Philippines government did not want aircraft carriers pulling in. And I think he's talking about Subic Bay, maybe.
I've been to Subic. That's where I was at.
Okay. And then he went to Australia instead, it looks like. All right, right on, man. Subic Bay, second. Okay, OT says Subic Bay was our second home port in Asia. Gets old after several visits back then.
I don't think so, but that's okay.
And then Jason Miyamoto, damn, this guy went from eating crayons to digging holes. Oh, man. So that's good, man.
I can't read the comments on this, but whoever said that, you tell him he's fired.
Yeah, that was Jason Miyamoto right there. This guy went from eating crayons to digging holes. Let me see. Navy cop says Philippines was closed when I was deployed, so it never made the stop. Hit Australia and Tasmania twice and Bali once. So I'll take that as a consolation prize. Yeah, Bali's pretty awesome, man. I've been out there. I like that. I probably didn't go to like the port. I went to like the actual vacation spot. This place called Ubud. But man, amazing out there. Just the culture out there too, man.
What was it? Bali was good because I'm not gonna lie, I have not been there.
Bali is amazing. So I went out there probably 8 years ago, and it was beautiful. Very like a very spiritual place. Everybody kind of respected each other. You know, they still had all the little like mopeds and all that stuff zipping around their streets, but for the most part, it was beautiful. A lot of culture out there. But
That's incredible.
In the last couple of years, due to like social media, Instagram, and stuff like that, it has been overflowing with a lot of tourists, and I think that kills the whole thing. It brings prices up. It kind of drowns out the culture a little bit, so it's not the same. It's now for like a tourist. It feels like a tourist attraction now, same as like parts of Mexico that I went to years ago.
it's like my girlfriend tells me because of the Iranian thing. They're like,
Mhm.
look, we're getting smoked on prices and stuff. I go, well, the Philippines shouldn't be relying on the Middle East because I don't care. I just go down to the gas pump and I just fill up, you
Yeah.
know. But it affects their whole economy. That's not my fault, you know. Not
Right. Right.
nobody's fault. But I I think Uncle Trump's going to take care of that with a quickness. Either way.
I hope so, man. I hope so.
Either way, it's going to be taken care of with quickness.
Yeah, because I mean, we can complain about the prices of the pump and all that, but I mean, if you got to go get gas, I mean, what are you going to do? Not get gas? You going to walk 20 miles to work? You know, you got to get gas. It might hit you a little bit, but I mean,
Well,
everybody's in the same world of hurt.
I'm I'm a little bit more lucky because I got a house and a
Mhm.
beautiful girlfriend, and she's unfortunately she's a millennial, but you know
Got to give and take, man. Give and take.
she's good looking, and I don't know. If she tells me to take out the trash. She's a kung fu master, so I'm like I'm gonna take out the trash.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, take out the trash, right?
Right.
You can't don't add anything else to your VA disability claim, man. Wife kicked my ass, or
Like
girlfriend
I
kicked my
said
ass.
when I was a kid, don't start no crap. There won't be no crap.
That's it. That's it. That's good, man.
Where's your buddy at?
Oh, he is. He had a work trip. So usually I'm on here with John. Shit, I've been on with John probably about a year and a half now. And yeah, he had a work trip going on. So he's actually flying right now. And he's got the first day of a meeting and stuff tomorrow. So I'm like, you know what? I'll take this one, and I'll bring folks up on the live stream. We'll talk a little bit. We'll talk about different topics, subjects, whatever it is. If he can jump on, he can jump on. But right now, yeah, he's on the plane.
Well, we all got our crosses to bear.
Yeah, yeah, man. So thankfully, I mean, whenever I go on like vacation, stuff like that, and I know he's the same way too, we always make time to kind of jump on. So I've jumped on the live stream from like hotels, from different places, right? From Airbnb houses and stuff like that. So different shit. I was in Guatemala. I jumped on the live stream, so we make do when we can. When we can.
Well, but closest I got to Guatemala, I was down in Honduras, but that was different. We were chasing bandits or whatever.
Mm.
But,
So what was your job in the? You said you did the Marine Corps and the Army.
yeah, the last part was the Army because thank you, President Clinton. Whatever. I don't even want to. That's a sore spot. Thanks for picking the scab, sir. So I had 16 years in the Marine Corps, and they said honorable discharge, no further service required.
Hmm.
I can carry things and kill people. What am I supposed to do? But the Army took me, and I just wanted to finish out my 20, but I did it almost 10 years.
So it like so I know in the Marine Corps they have boat spaces, right? Like if you don't have any more room in your MOS, then you cannot re-enlist in that MOS. Was that the issue?
No, what happened was when Clinton was just getting out, it was no, this is truth because I do know I know politics. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to get rid of sergeants and staff sergeants who are basically mid-careerists and pay a private. It's money. Came down to money.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I can see that.
So I got honorable discharge, no further service required. Thank God I wasn't in the Navy because they give RE4s for not swabbing the deck right. They're just screwed. They're just screwed forever. They can't get back in.
So in the Marine Corps, then what rank did you get out as from the Marine Corps?
I was a staff sergeant, and then I did a couple years in the reserves, and I picked up gunny.
Okay, right on.
And then I got into the Army. I kind of weaseled my way into another career, and the Army took me, so I took it. They threw me a
Good.
lifeline. They threw me a lifeline, and I took it. I had a wife and 2 kids in Jersey.
Yeah. Oh, hell no.
I
Gotta
couldn't afford that.
get in where you can fit in, man.
That's right. And
Yeah. So what'd
I
you do in the
moved on to
Army?
base housing with a quickness.
Mm-hmm. What'd you do in the Army?
I was, of course, they're like, "Oh, you're a Marine, so infantry. I'll take it."
Mhm.
You know, and but I wound up in an artillery unit, but my Marine background was infantry and radio communications. Like
Okay.
my last unit in Lejeune was
Mhm.
I was with the field MPs, not the gate guards. You know,
Okay.
I'm talking about the guys that did POW, EPW compounds, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was with the radio chief for them. I was the only non-MOS MP in the unit, second FSG down at Lejeune, but whatever.
Mhm.
And anyway, I made it.
Well, that's good.
I still tell people about your story,
Which one? Which story is that?
the CD story.
Oh man, that guy is
No,
I li-
I try to
go ahead.
tell, hold on, I got to cut you off. I tell people about my story. They're like, what's the funniest story that you had? I said, when I had a formation in New
Yeah.
River, North Carolina, and I got all the Marines out there lined up looking at me. And I looked at one of these Marines, dark green Marine. I said, hey, what did the doc tell you on Friday? He said, Sergeant Bishop, I just had a little bit of syphilis. Everybody busted out laughing. How do you have a little bit of syphilis? But when you showed me that CD paper, I spit up all of them. Here it is. Here it is.
What's
I
that? What
spit
am I looking at here? Keyboard?
yeah. I spit coffee all over when you showed that paper. Like I
Yeah,
said, I want reparations.
that is sadly enough a true story. Sadly enough. I wish it wasn't sometimes, but I'm like, okay, well, and sometimes I wish I would have gotten a hold of that Marine and had him sign the paper. So let me pull it up here for folks who are watching and didn't and don't know the story here. It was approximately, oh gosh, it might have been, it was Pendleton. So it was probably around 2008, maybe. Camp Pendleton, or it might have been Miramar, one of those two. And just so everybody knows the story, I'm working with NCIS, helping them out with an investigation. And NCIS, anybody out there who doesn't know, Naval Criminal Investigative Services. Okay, and similar to like what CID is for the Army.
Yeah.
And I had the CD. You know, they don't use them a lot these days, but round CD. And I get one of my Marines over, Lance Corporal type. I'm like, hey, dog, I need this like ASAP. Burn me a copy. Make me a copy of the CD. My exact words to him, make me a copy of the CD. I got to turn this into NCIS and before noon, make me a copy of this. Dude says, aye, Sergeant. Good to go, Sergeant. Got you. All right. My man returns like 10 seconds later. He's like, I got you, Sergeant. I'm like, damn, that was quick. Like, I know we got new equipment, but it's not that fast. And then he pulls this thing out, right? He gives me this piece of paper, this exact piece of paper right here. Exact piece of paper.
You got to frame it. I mean, do you want me to send you a frame?
No, I'll get a frame here. I gotta track this dude down to have this fool sign this thing. But you know, I kept it all these years, and you can see it's like kind of wrinkly and stuff. I kept it all these years, and I got it in my back when I was enlisted. I kept all ranks. I kept this I Love Me binder here. So
I got one.
it's got all my awards.
I got one that looks just like it. Same stripes, everything.
So I kept it all these years, and I couldn't believe. I had to look. I looked at this man in the eye, and I go, you messing with me, right? Like, no. And but I can't fault the man, as other people mentioned in the comments. I cannot fault the man. This man literally made me a copy of a CD. So like he took it literally.
That is classic. I don't care what anybody says. That's like classic. You got me beat on my syphilis story. That is just that's incredible.
I got you being your syphilis story.
We got a little bit of syphilis, Sergeant.
Oh, that's terrible. That's rough, man. Go to medical right now. That's what that means. Damn.
I was the only one that didn't laugh. I said whatever.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe he said that.
Yeah. So yeah, there's always stories with these knuckleheads, man. You know, they never cease to surprise you, and especially, you know, when there's good leadership involved, they're going to want to open up. They're going to want to talk. And a lot of times, even when I was a chief warrant officer, I get a knock at my door, and you know, because I'd go around in the mornings, and that was my routine, going around and with my coffee mug, doing my rounds is what I called it, going around to all different work sections and stuff. Like, hey, how's the weekend, dog? Like, everything good? How was the weekend? You know, that's just going around talking to folks, you know, from officers down to enlisted, whatever. And these younger folks, I felt like they got a little comfortable, and they would come to my door and knock on my door. You know, I'd be working or whatever, shooting on an email, and I'd be, you know, doing inventory, whatever I had to do. Come to my door. Hey, sir, can I talk to you real quick? And they're like, hey, you know, I'm talking about like corporals, sergeants, and they tell me some shit. I'm like, hold on a second, dog. Have you passed this through your chain of command? I should not be the first person hearing this. Oh, no, I haven't told Sergeant. Stop talking, turn around, go talk to Sergeant so-and-so. He'll talk to Staff Sergeant so-and-so. Bring it back to me, dog. I should not be using chain of command. I should not be the first person hearing this. So there was a lot of that. Yeah, a lot of that involved. Well, thankfully, I hashed that out, man. I shouldn't have been the first person in line for that.
It's,
yeah.
You know, I believe there's truth in that, though.
Yeah, man. I mean, we've had, I mean, I'm sure you got your stories too, and I'm sure other people in the comments also have their stories on like the most knucklehead crap that they've ever heard. I mean, one of the dumbest things was we did a financial worksheet on a Marine, and this dude was $95,000 in debt, and told us on Monday that he was having a kid with a young lady who already had 2 kids. So I'm like, okay, so you're going from the barracks, dog, to inheriting a family of 5 with $95,000 in debt. I'm like, let's sit down and do a financial worksheet. Let's see where you are in life.
Right. I can't even claim that. I cannot even claim
a lot
that.
of it is because these young cats get out or they join the service, and it's their first time out of, you know, their hometown, small hometown or whatever. That's where you go outside Camp Lejeune, and you got these like older women who are preying on these young Marines, and then lo and behold, leave them.
That's
take
true.
them for everything they got, and then recycle them. I've been to many, like as a young Marine, to parties where I'm like, dog, wow, you know, is that so-and-so's new girl? Why is she like we're like 20, bro? Why is she like 40? You know, oh, he met her he met her at the Double Deuce or whatever, or you know, whatever that place outside Lejeune is, where they have like the little people wrestling in Jello. There's always a sign up there.
I probably have been there, but I do not recall some of it.
What the hell is the name of that place? Let me see. And I'm sure the Army and all of them have the same kind of deal, man. Like
They're
you
probably
can walk anywhere up and down the strip.
By the time I got in the Army, I learned my lesson. I had 2 kids and a wife. So
yeah. Let me see. What the hell is the name? No, that's not. It's hilarious because it's right outside the gate. I mean, they got like Toby's out there outside New River. It was called the Driftwood. The Driftwood.
Oh my goodness! Now you're digging. You just rip off that Band-Aid. I think I've been there. time or two. In my mind.
Hold on. I'm going to show you some here, and I recall seeing this when I was there. There was I think it was a promotion ceremony, but it was outside the driftwood. Like some Marine got promoted out there.
God, that thing's got to been there for decades. It had to be.
They might have closed it down. They might have closed it down.
I used to go to Saigon Sam's and,
Saigon Sam. I know Saigon Sam's. Yeah, when you need some last minute stuff, go to Saigon Sam's. But you'll pay a price for it. But
if you're missing gear or whatever, you go to Saigon Sam's. They got it.
Yeah, it's better than writing a missing gear statement, right? And then having to go through the whole CO process and all that. Oh, let me close this window here. There we go. Man, so when you go out to the Philippines, do you have a plan when you get out there? You're looking to maybe like a remote work, or you just chilling out, enjoying life?
I'm just going to live off what I got, Yeah. And there's not a whole, I'll be an expat. So it's not, there's not a lot of work out that way, because there's a lot over there that a lot of, foreigners to go that they call us foreigners, but there's not a lot of job opportunities, and I'm just not in a big thrill. I can get by and afford it in the Philippines because it's cheap. And then my girlfriend, she works 8 days a week. So we got this.
But you know what? You have somebody who speaks the language. So that's good.
She speaks 4 languages. She's amazing in English.
So you got that covered there. All right. So you got somebody there. You have a way to live, which is your income, right? You're making your retirement, potentially your disability stuff. So you have a way to live. Yeah, man, I think you got it made, dude. And I know there's a huge expat community out there in the Philippines too.
Huge. And I know them. And the thing is, like you said, that in Manila, they got a VA. So I got a high blood pressure because I smoke, and I don't run anymore unless it's raining, and I run from the front door to the truck. That's my PT.
Hey, that's all right. You're getting it in. You're getting it in.
I did it my whole life. I'm like, I can still run.
Yeah.
When it's raining and it's from the truck to the front hatch.
That's all you need. No, that's good, man. I think you got it worked out. You just got to work out the house situation. See if you want to have a home base back here in the States.
Yeah.
And then, you can always get like a small, like 1-bedroom condo or something like that, or a townhouse or something. I don't know. And then call that your home base.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I just can't take all my weapons because I've got a lot.
So then either your kid takes it or you'd have to store them somewhere. But how
exactly?
How does that storage for weapons work when you're out of the country? Like, is that like something you pay monthly? Does somebody do that for you?
No, I just pay monthly. I got a storage bin, and I just pay monthly, and I got insurance on it. I got a couple that I don't want to give up. My father, I gave him an M1. Here's a quick story. It's kind of stupid. In the late 80s, when I was a young buck, there was a card game, and there was a staff sergeant that was in the platoon, and I don't know what his position was. It's been lost to time. But we played cards, like poker.
Right.
And he lost. And he owed me like, I don't know, $80 or something like that. So about 2 weeks later, said, "Hey, Staff Sergeant," I think it was a Lance Corporal or something back then, maybe a corporal. "You remember that money you owe me?" He goes, "I got you." He goes, "Come here, let's just make it even." He opens up the trunk of his car and he hands me an M1 carbine. And he says, "Will you take this and we're even?" and I grabbed it and gave it to my father. My father went back into Marine mode. He's out there trying to do rifle drills and stuff with
Oh,
it.
damn.
And my mother's like, he's lost his mind. I'm like, she's like, why'd you give it to him? Anyway, I got it back because he's 83 now.
Mm-hmm.
And he don't need it. And so anyway.
Yeah, that's a good repayment right there. Wow.
Yeah, it took decades to get it back, but I didn't expect it back, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But he's 83, so he knows he doesn't know how many tomorrows he has.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's the thing. Yep. So a few folks on here, OT mentions, remember VA clinic in Manila only covers service-connected disabilities. I've heard that same thing. But lucky enough.
I haven't heard that, but that's fine. That's fine,
Yeah.
but I just want my meds. Which is okay. I'll just go out in town and get the same thing because medicals, there's a million nurses out there. They got 90 million people in the country, and half of them are nurses or doctors. That's what they do over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's no shortage, and lucky enough, the cost of living out there is really low. So if you had to go to the doc,
I got a 3-bedroom house. I got a 3-bedroom house.
Yeah,
2 bath, and I pay $450 a month, and everybody there thinks that me and my girlfriend are rich. I'm like, you couldn't get an apartment for that here. You couldn't get it.
In the worst neighborhoods, man. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And it's absolutely beautiful. It's a beautiful home. And I'm like, okay, I'll pony up.
Yeah, why not? $400. That's a fraction of your retirement potentially, you know. So
I spend half that much on beer a month.
Oh. And now it's even easier because you're getting it delivered.
Delivered. I called him from 5,000 miles away. I said, he's like, I'll deliver it. Got everything set up.
Well, I'm happy that, man, you're finding a way forward, that everything's working out for you.
Well, and my girlfriend's really smoking good looking. I mean, you know, a lot of guys say that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they wind up, you know, yeah, their girl looks like she's built like a bowling pin. Whatever. Landwell coming forth. But I just want to sit up on a Nipa hut and watch her swimming around in a blue lagoon in a bikini and drink beer. That's all I want. I'm 58 years old.
And it sounds like you're going to have that pretty soon.
Hell yes. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, Oliver, man, it's been awesome having you on, buddy. I really I enjoyed the conversation. I really want you to have a successful tour in the Philippines now as you transition out there. So that's going to be awesome for you.
You take your next caller.
All right. You take care, man. And don't be a stranger.
Thanks, Chief.
All right, man. Take it easy. Man, that was Oliver Rust. Here, let me set this thing up here. Yeah, that was Oliver Rust, man. He's been on the channel for quite some time, kind of in the chats and the comments. So and it's connections like that, the folks that you would never encounter, you know, where you live, but they're all kind of spread all over the country, all over the world, really. So it's amazing to be able to connect with other folks, other vets out there who are just like Oliver is about to make that the big leap from, I think it was Oklahoma to the Philippines, especially with lower cost of living. That's going to be awesome. So great stuff. Going to the comments here really quick. Untrackable, I truly appreciate it. Much love, y'all. Truly appreciate it. Navy Cop says, I will store them, ensure they are kept up and work in order, take them out for some love now and then, and just throwing that one out there. You're talking about Oliver Rust's his weapon cache. Yeah. OT says, okay, this one's for Oliver Russ. Yeah. OT says you might need to transfer your care there if you're planning on being there for a while. That's probably a good idea, right? So you become, I suppose, a member of the VA out there. You need to register with the clinic if you need to get your meds there. Yes. FMP, Foreign Medical Program. I've heard of that. Foreign Medical Program. Let me see here. We got, there were some other comments on there. So I had shared this post here, this website, and it's very interesting as I'm also doing some research on this. But hold on a second. Share screen. Very interesting stuff. And this one specifically says, I didn't want to be on medication the rest of my life. Veterans run psilocybin retreats. I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right. Psilocybin retreats. Let me close this thing out here real quick. And for PTSD before FDA approval. So this Army Green Beret is developed post-traumatic stress disorder, a couple of deployments, PTSD. And after hearing a podcast about ayahuasca, he traveled to Peru where he tried the drug. Okay. The PTSD, the depression, the hypervigilance no longer affected me to the same degree, said Gould, who says he lost more than a dozen people he served alongside due to taking their life. He thought psychedelics could help prevent more deaths. And just months later, he launched Heroic Hearts Project, a nonprofit that hosts retreats where veterans can take ayahuasca or psilocybin and perhaps find relief from trauma. So, or magic mushrooms, right? Psilocybin magic mushrooms. So curious about that. I'm going to try to connect with this guy and see about it. Curious about this. I know folks who have made this trip and have done the ayahuasca thing. So I'm very curious about how that works and very curious about all the research going into the VA, introducing all these like potentially psychedelics per se, or even marijuana, right? To issue that out. So I'm very curious about that. All right. Psilocybin, freaking Navy cop for the win, dude. Psilocybin. You can tell that I say the word, but I don't read the word often. Psilocybin. Yeah. The G is silent. All right. Oh, who do we have up on here? Let's see. Untrackable. All right. Mr. Untrackable, how we doing?
I'm doing very well. I hope you and yours are doing good as
Yeah.
the best you can.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Can't complain, dude. Woke up this morning. Can't complain about that. So where are you calling in from?
I'm coming from North Carolina.
Right on, man. I love North Carolina, dude. It's awesome outdoors out there. The weather's not bad either. Were you in the military at all? Veteran?
Yes, sir.
Right on, man.
What
service?
I was a 92 Gulf food service specialist from 2003 to 2009.
All right, right on, man. Well, I thank you for your service, dude, because we can't eat without you guys either. So that's awesome. And then that's what, 92, that's what, Army?
Yeah, Army.
Army, huh? Right on, man. And you were what, stationed out in North Carolina at some point? You decided to stay out there, or how'd you end up out there?
Oh no, I'm a military brat. So my parents were Air Force. I was born in California.
Okay.
And then they separated, and I wound up in Ohio. And then my mother decided to retire in North Carolina, and I got so lucky to grow up next to the ocean.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
then I came of age, and then 2001 happened, and I decided to fail at college and join the military. So um, my first place was Camp Casey, Korea, and I spent 2 years there.
How'd you
And
like that?
then
I hear good things about Korea. How'd you like that?
um, you know, the adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Area 1. Um,
Yeah.
uh, you can't leave base without having like somebody holding your hand.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I remember that. I remember that when I got to Japan. So I know exactly what you mean. Now, I do have a question for you because I've only kind of had layovers in Korea, extended layovers, but layovers nonetheless. I've always wanted to make a trip out there and go to the DMZ. Did you ever get a chance to go to the DMZ zone?
yes.
That's awesome, man. That is what an
Um,
incredible experience to be able to see two dueling sides right there in
there,
the middle.
there's like two situations
Hmm.
where you get to go into the room,
Yeah.
um, where the guards, you know, refuse to let you open the door on the other side of
Right.
because this meeting room is on a boundary,
Hmm.
and you cannot get close to that door. Um, but then there's this other situation where you you go underground, like you're 45-degree angle, and you're walking down,
Yeah.
down, 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 and eventually you meet the tunnel,
Hmm.
and there's a little visual. You know, there's a little sliver in the wall. It's like, hey, this is where people used to escape or cross over. It's like now it's a brick wall with a sliver of cut.
And you went
But
down there?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right on, man.
It's you know, now it's a tourist site. You know what I mean?
Now, so when you went down there, again, I've never been down there before. I've never went to the DMZ before, though I would love to do it. Um, and I don't know. Is it like you have to pay to go there? Like, is there like an admission fee or something, or is it just like you have to
I
have like a
mean,
military ID to go there, or how's that work?
well, I mean, I was active duty, so there
Right.
was there were there were really no questions. It was like, hey,
Yeah.
we're going to take you guys here. This
And
is
I yeah
your time. You know,
yeah. So that's almost like a battle study, right? You're going out there, maybe like a work type of trip or a unit type trip
yeah,
to see
we
that.
got to see. I mean, we got to see North Korea has like the biggest flag in the world. Like they have the most. It is the biggest flag you've ever seen anywhere ever, and they play music on that side, and we were told
I
like,
heard.
hey, the what they the sounds that they play from that side, even in the immediate to where you can hear it, is saying, hey, come to the north, blah 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 blah. And that
Really?
entire town is it's superficial. It's like Legos. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I've heard it's
it
just a facade.
it it doesn't exist. It's just, hey, come over here. And they got that flag, from what they say, It's bigger than people's houses.
Oh, I'm
Like,
sure. So they have I've done some research on that part, and they have it's all facade, right? It's all like just the shell of buildings and homes that you can
yeah.
see from the south to the north. There's nothing filling it in. There's no actual homes or rooms or anything like that behind there. I've heard about the propaganda news being broadcast via the speakers across lines. Now, does South Korea have that going across to North Korea as well?
No, on the South Korean side, um, you won't see much, but U.S. military people.
Yeah, yeah, I can understand that. No,
But
but man, what an experience,
I
man.
could be wrong, but I think it's like Camp Boniface or something like that.
Hmm.
Uh, there was an issue where they had the trimming of the tree.
Yeah.
Do you remember that story?
No, no. Tell me about the trimming of the tree. What does that mean?
Yeah, so there's this tree, and
Hmm.
I don't remember it specifically. I'm a bit special, but they they went out there because the tree needed to be trimmed,
Hmm.
and the North Koreans somehow took offense to that, or took it as a, and a bunch of people got murdered.
Wow. No, I didn't hear. Let me look that up, man. DMZ tree trimming. I don't know what to
Yeah,
look up. Tree trimming massacre
I may have gotten
incident.
some names wrong, but that definitely happened.
Okay. I'm looking at here. North Korean soldiers killed 2 U.S. Army officers with axes while they were pruning a poplar tree that blocked visibility in the joint security area. Wow. Uh, this brutal attack led to Operation Paul Bunyan, a massive show of force by the U.S. and South Korea to cut down the tree, nearly triggering a war. Whoa.
Yeah, yeah. You
That's
see how
crazy. Yeah. So,
you see
yeah.
how fragile things can be. It's like, um, we just want better visibility,
Hmm.
and this is on. It's in the DMZ, the demilitarized zone. So we're gonna
Right.
go trim the tree.
Yeah.
Uh, but
And because of that.
somebody didn't like it, and
Mm.
next thing you know, lives are lost.
Yeah. And it looks like an axe murder incident. Wow. So I did not know that. I appreciate you bringing that to light. Now, something to research. I got a long list of stuff that I want to research, and I fear that I don't have enough time to do so. So I do appreciate that. So, man, so what are you doing now these days over in North Carolina? What's your daily life look like?
Yeah. My daily life is more or less beautiful,
Mm,
compared to what it used to be.
excellent.
Um, like I said, from 2003 to 2009, I spent 3 years total in Korea,
Hmm.
and I spent 3 years in El Paso, Texas, at Fort Bliss. And at any given moment, during that time, they would sound the alarm. Um, you guys need to be ready to go.
Yeah. So it
That
always
was
do you feel like that always had you on edge then?
Yes. Um, Now, I was the 92 Golf. I was food service.
Hmm.
So I was at work before anybody else woke up ever.
Right.
But 7 days a week even. I probably spent those first 2 years without a day off.
Wow. So just working, man.
But it made me what I am today. So I appreciate work getting done.
That's good. That's good. Because if we
I
didn't, we
I
wouldn't have a purpose, right?
I appreciate everything that I purchase. I appreciate every service that is given to me. I appreciate every single thing, even when it costs too much.
That's a good way to look at it, man. Because a lot of things we take for granted, right? The fact, really, the fact that we can stand up, a lot of us can stand up on two legs and have working limbs, or the fact that we woke up in the morning. That's it's a gift, really. We need to be appreciative of that. The fact that you go outside, you turn on your car, and you're able to drive somewhere to go get services for what you've got. Time in the military may not have been the best, but if you don't appreciate it, man, then what else do you have? So I'm glad to hear that, dude. I really am. That things are going a lot better for you now.
Yeah. I take my opportunities.
Mhm.
We had a rough winter, so 8+ inches of snow in North
Mhm.
Carolina is odd. But
Yeah, it sounds odd. That's a lot of snow. Damn.
but I strapped up and I walked to the grocery store. The grocery store closed 3 hours ago. Oh, okay. So walk to the next grocery store. Um, closed. Yeah, Walgreens was open.
Mhm.
You know, the drugstore, and I was like, hopefully they sell beer. So I walked a round trip a little more than 5 miles through 8 inches of snow. Like I was lifting my knees up to my chest every single
Yeah.
step to go get beer. And on the way back, right around the corner from, on the way home, it's a nursing home,
Mhm.
if that's what you want to call it. And
Yeah.
there was a fire truck outside, and you know, I I don't know the details, but that type of situation, it's like somebody just died in there.
Yeah.
And here I am, you know, enjoying my 5 mile walk through snow
Mhm.
to go get beer. And it's like somebody just died. It's like I I gave the fireman a fist bump and I said, "Take care of yourself." And I kept it moving. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. It's like what am I going to do?
Yeah. I mean, there's not much you can do at that point, right? I mean, you don't really, for one, you don't really know the person, you don't know the circumstances, and for two, I mean, it's kind of it's the circle of life. It really is, to take it another route, but it's inevitable. It's going to happen, and especially like in these nursing homes, a lot of these folks are, have lived their life, so there's not much you can do. It happens to everybody, unfortunately, and it's just the way of life. So we just need to enjoy, similar to what you're doing now. Enjoy as much as you can, and be thankful for all the little things that come in your way, that come your way. So
Yeah. I mean, I've been picked on for being a cook and all that type of stuff.
mhm.
But
But there's no. Go ahead. Go ahead. I won't cut you off. Go ahead.
oh no. There was a fella that came through with a bicycle helmet,
Hmm.
and hey, you take your headgear off. once you come inside.
Right.
What are you doing? And he said, I just came from William Beaumont, and this is part of keeping my head together. And I had to stop myself and say, hey, you get whatever you want. You just let me know.
Mm-hmm.
There are no restrictions anymore. If you're hungry and that helmet's holding your head together,
Yeah.
let me do my part. You get whatever you want. I will tell everybody else to sit down and shut the fuck up and mind your own business, and you can't have but you name it, you get it.
I like that.
And I said that to that man. And I active duty, wearing my whites, wearing my rank, and handling my business. You get whatever you want. You name it, you get it. I'll carry it for you.
That's good, man. I really like that. The thing about cooks is you guys, when people are out in the field and we see the folks starting to set up like the tent, the bins and all that stuff for the food and whatever the food may be. You guys are the ones who bring morale up, dude. Nothing brings morale up more than actually having some hot food, some hot chow or something like that. Instead of, I don't want to be eating MREs all the time. When I see, I've had friends who are cooks, when I see them pulling up and I'm like, man, I'm so glad, something hot, get to hang out and talk to these folks, and you guys are you were a part of that, man, bringing morale up. So you had a very big part in all of this.
There was a moment where um, they were deploying um, from South Korea, and it was like
Yeah.
the first time, because technically the Korean War wasn't over. By all technicality, the Korean War wasn't over until Obama. And so, what was going on in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in the 2nd Infantry Division. I was not infantry, but I
You were
was
attached to them.
advanced. Yeah, 100%. So they started deploying them. And so we had to do a stand-up. And I spent 2 months on a runway feeding people. And believe it or not, some people, maybe they've run into this in their life, but a drill sergeant that I had, he comes through my chow line.
Mm-hmm.
Right behind somebody who had a complaint. And that drill sergeant said, "You're eating MREs for the rest of your days, you son of a bitch." Yeah, that I'm not saying that he recognized me until I said
Mm-hmm.
something, because I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, Sergeant," and the motherfucker's name was Boots. The
Sergeant
drill
Boots.
sergeant's name was Boots.
Oh man,
Boots.
that's good. Can't get any better than that, man.
And that dude he said, "Give me some of that shit right there." And I had to hold one of my, people back.
Mm-hmm.
He took control. He was like, "You do not speak to these people this way." you're getting MREs for the rest of your days. And I was out there for 2 months. And I was only training. Plus giving them what they needed, because these people were going to Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't going. They weren't taking us. But this
you played a big part in all that, and you were a support element, right? But you played a big part in that. Like I mentioned, to providing morale, providing food. You know, I mean, whatever this guy had a complaint about, I don't know what it was, but you know, just like Navy Cop mentioned on here in the comments, man, never screw with the cooks or the dispersing clerks. And you know, we just got to be happy for what we got, man. I mean, you got three meals a day. Can't complain.
I can never understand what so many people went through. But even just in training, like I'm in my cot and I got a saw like laying lead like right next to my head. There's a difference between where I'm laying and where this fully automatic weapon is just hammering. It's like, you want breakfast in the morning? Kill the motherfucker already. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that way we can get to another day.
It was loud as fuck.
Yeah, I can imagine. I hope you wore like ear pro at some point in time when you were around that. You know, if not, you're gonna have some. You probably have some loud ring in your ears anyway, as it is.
No, I am so thankful to not be able to hear so much bullshit anymore. I am so thankful to be deaf.
Oh man. Well, man, on track, man, I truly appreciate you coming on, man, and sharing a little bit of your story, dude. Never let anybody put you down like that, dude. And I'm glad you're in a better place now than where you were before. And yeah, cooks matter. You know, cook lives matter.
Everybody.
Absolutely.
Everybody. I don't care if you're the one handling my paycheck. I don't care if you're the one flipping my chicken. I don't care if you're the one laying down lead. You know, I love you because you said, yes, I will.
I love that, dude. I really do.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for listening to me. I'll let you go.
No, all good, dude. Yeah. Thank you for coming on, dude. I mean, it takes a little bit of courage to come on, and you're doing it, man. So I appreciate your service. Thank you for everything you've done. And it looks like your garage is looking a lot more organized than mine. So it's making me want to go in my garage after this and start working on some stuff there after this.
Yeah, take care of yourself and take care of your people, and much love always.
Absolutely. Likewise, man. Thank you for coming on. Yeah, that was Untrackable, man. It was incredible stories that we hear from fellow veterans, and that's really what this live stream today is about. Usually, like I mentioned, I have my co-host John on here. He's out for a work trip, which is completely fine. I told him I'll take it, and I will invite others to come on the live stream to share a little bit about their story, about their life, about their wins and their struggles, which is completely fine. We all have them. I recently shared on a video that I put out sometime this week about a gentleman, former Navy. He's 53, and he mentioned that depression was seeping in, and he was losing his mind. But you know, when you surround yourself with a good network of people, with just good people in general, you know, good things will happen. So I threw my 2 cents in there, you know, on his Reddit post. I'm not going to share what my Reddit name is. I can't do that, but put my 2 cents in there. Hopefully, you know, he reads it and it helps him out a little bit. My man just had to understand that it is not too late. You know, he was he mentioned that his wife she hated the house that they were in. She wanted to sell it for pennies on the dollar. He was going to lose money. He didn't know where he was going with this. He was completely spiraling. Depression was seeping in. He mentioned he was falling into a depression abyss, which is not where you want to be. Not where you want to be, especially when everything else kind of feels like it's caving in on you. So made a little video on it, just kind of give my 2 cents. He didn't ask for the advice, but I thought, for anybody out there who may be having that same kind of situation, just kind of, we've all been through good and bad times, and maybe you just need somebody to lean on a little bit to get you through it a little bit. So hey, Doublets Wood Emporium, welcome, man. That network matters. It really does. Yeah. Mr. Doublet, man. How is life out there for you? How is life? I think you're in North Carolina. You still doing the woodworking? You do some incredible stuff, dude. So I will share this again up on here. I love connecting with you all and hearing your stories and all the good stuff that you guys are putting out there. So jump on the live stream. If you'd like, jump on the live stream, share a little bit about your story. You can either come on have your video on, or you can just do audio only. It's kind of a call-in thing. So whatever you feel comfortable with, all good. But yeah, Untrackable, I truly appreciate that, man. Much love for you out there as well. And I'm glad a lot of things have gotten a lot better for you. And I think 66T Love mentioned, yeah, don't let anyone steal your joy, brother. Yeah, of course. Don't let anybody do that. Navy Cop says, isn't the Korean DMZ the only place that has automatic machine gun nests? I think I heard that somewhere. That's a great question. I don't know. I wouldn't doubt it, though. Like laser focused machine gun nests or something. Yeah. Let's see here. So yeah, lines are open. If you want to jump on the live stream and share your story, share a little bit about what's going on with you, please feel free. If you're going to be on the video, just make sure you got clear video, some sort of a microphone, your iPhone works or whatever you have. That's fine. But yeah, the Military Retirement Podcast, this gets streamed over to iHeartRadio under Wreaths Across America Radio Network. So we're part of that radio network. We have our show, doesn't get streamed live or anything like that. It just kind of backed up a little bit in maybe like 2 months back. But that hits a whole nother set of veterans out that way. So truly thankful that we were able to connect with Wreaths Across America Radio Network. Good stuff. And then we're streaming right now on the Green Logbook on Military Retirement Podcast on Facebook. Oh, damn. I didn't put it on LinkedIn today. I thought I did. It's all good. It's all good. Let's see. So I saw this one here too. I'm going to share this on the live stream. Let me share this screen here. I was reading this one yesterday as I was kind of doing some research on this. Donations help 76-year-old veteran retire after delivering for DoorDash to cover family medical bills. All right, elderly veteran who had to resort to late night food deliveries to cover the family's medical bills. 76-year-old Larry Philip Colvin. I'm wondering if anybody knows this gentleman, delivering food to residents in Kaufman County. I'm not sure where Kaufman County is. I should probably know. Looks like Texas somewhere. Documented what seemed to be a life of nothing but hard work. I learned from my grandfather to work. Growing up on a farm in Illinois, becoming a soldier sent to Vietnam, and spending decades working on heavy equipment took its toll. Always get a little nicks and bumps and bruises, he said. His family was facing medical expenses and other bills. He recently gave up retirement and returned to a life of work, delivering for DoorDash 6 days a week. So, as I understand, DoorDash doesn't always, folks don't always give tips and stuff like that. So you may just get pennies on the dollar on what you get paid. I don't know exactly how it works. I've never delivered DoorDash. So we got Navy Cop on the line. Navy Cop, man, what's going on with you, brother? How you
Hey,
doing?
can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Man, you must be I'm surprised you don't have like a life preserver on or life jacket, man. You're in the middle of the water there. There's a ship hanging out behind you. Like, what's going on, dude?
I'm just that good. Yeah, and the funny thing is I'm not a good swimmer. So, yeah, where do you go? You join the Navy. Isn't that how that works?
That's it.
So
I remember going to swim call, and some of the folks in like my platoon and stuff, or even like after the fact, where you just have to do your annual swim call, and yeah, you're in there with a class of some folks who need like remedial swim, and I'm thinking like, why would you join the Marine Corps? Like Marine Corps, right? Like if you can't swim, like
yeah,
because they teach you. They teach you.
Yeah, I get that question often, but I'm like, well, you don't go with the understanding that the ship's going to sink. So I'm I'll work with that, except for the submarines, and those people are a little off. So
yeah, I don't know if I could do that, man. Being inside a submarine, submerged underwater in tight quarters. I've never been in a submarine. I've toured a submarine before. Yep. And I'm thinking, I already don't like enclosed spaces. So I'm like, I don't know about this, like the berthing areas and all that. Yeah, not for me.
Yeah. Well, as long as they close the screen door when they're barbecuing, it's fine.
Oh, no. That's it. So what's going on with you, man?
Yeah, just hanging out. So, yeah, I'd mentioned that job I was trying for.
That's right.
County service officer. I
Yeah.
was told that I was top 3 of the people they had applied for.
My man.
Didn't even get the second interview. Yeah, it's that way out here. I emailed back several days later, said, I just wanted to get a follow-up because I didn't know when the job was closing. Oh yeah, we appreciate your time. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Okay. So I thought you meant you were top 3 choices, but now you were just told that you
I was top. I was told that of the group that had applied up to that point, there were 3 of us, and I was included, that were strong contenders for it, but never got the second interview.
Damn.
So, yeah, it gets frustrating. So
yeah, I completely agree, man. I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat. I just had a conversation with my wife about this yesterday, and I brought you up as well. Like, I didn't tell her, hey, Navy Cop, but I'm like, hey, this gentleman that I talk to every so often, he mentioned, my wife, oh, Navy Cop. Well, I know that guy, right? No, but
are you kidding? I've been out here for a month. Everybody should know me by now.
But no, I mentioned to her, I was like, hey, you know what? Maybe I should continue working until maybe like in my 50s, because what I'm seeing online is that it gets a little bit harder as you get older, right? From folks that I'm talking to. And, of course, I don't want to work myself to the bone after doing the whole military thing for 20 years, but continuing on, to bring in some kind of income before I'm being told, hey, pause, we want to look elsewhere.
Yeah.
Well,
and like 6060 Love says, a lot of that's nepotism. And I'm in Washington. I'm in the Communist Manifesto of Washington State. And it's nepotism is king. That or other things that we won't go into in this area. And it makes it difficult. When you're you sit back and you look at the 10,000 foot view and you're like, I'm a veteran. They're looking for veterans who wants to support veterans. I already do stuff to try and support veterans. And you're scraping by to get a job that does that. So instead I continue on the job that I have, and I'm thankful for the job I have.
Yeah.
I'm also not going to say it's not the most boring, tedious job I've ever had in my entire life. And at 57, it's a fight to get up in the morning. But me and the other guy who got hired to that position, it took him 9 months of no interviews to finally get something. And we go in on Mondays now, and we look at each other like, okay, start of the week. And by Tuesday, we're like, is it Friday yet? And
really? Is it because it's slow? Is that why?
Extremely. And now we're getting
Yeah.
used for phone support. The
Mm.
training is minimal. They train you on how to use the phones. We're a remote office. I won't go into which company it is because the company in and of itself is a good company. The way they've set
Mhm.
us up, I've got second thoughts about. But because our manager is up in Bellevue, up in Seattle, 3.5 hours away,
Right.
it's on us to control what happens in the office. And they, every time I try and step up, because I mean, we're military, we step up. That's what we do. I get put in my place about how I'm overreaching and I'm talking to people I shouldn't and I'm doing things I shouldn't. And she needs to know everything. It's like, I'm trying to care and I just don't.
Stop finding ways of how to improve the company, man. How dare you? Stop
Well,
finding ways of how to recon and do your job better.
Yeah. And you can't. You're not allowed to.
Yeah.
You're military, your post-military lowest point in the poll, you're not allowed to bring this stuff up. And the guy I'm working with, he was a teacher for 30 years and an engineer. And he's like, he can't believe he can't get any decent work. So,
do you think it's the location you're in? Like if you move to, is it Idaho? Do you think the job situation would be better out there?
Idaho, I mean, I want to go there. Just it's the mountains, and if it's really cold and snowing, and people don't want to move there from, and I won't say the California word. Oh, sorry. Then more power to them. But the economy, it's not a huge place. Coeur d'Alene area, Coeur d'Alene, Post Falls, stuff like that. So there's some economy, but it's more hospitality, medical, areas I don't really have a lot of focus on. So that's why I'm trying to focus on the online stuff that I'm building out with everything I keep building and don't finish. And I'm like, oh yeah, here's something else I want to build. And then I build that. And then I look back, oh God, I need to finish that. And
Preaching to the choir, man. I'm the same way.
It's just nuts. So if I can get some of this stuff working, at least get some sort of income, because I'm 2.5 out from my retirement. So once I've got disability and retirement, since I'm at 80%, then I can double dip, and then from there I'm 2 years out from Social Security. So I'm not 100% how that works with all my military stuff, but I'll figure it out as we go. But
I'm not
if I
sure.
can get all that stuff coming in, then that'll take me through. Yeah. And then everything else that I'm doing with my reunion site and my meetup site and stuff like that I built out, and the whole buddy check system, get the store going and stuff like that. If I can get side income coming in from some of that stuff, then I should be good to go. But I'm still in the foundation stages on all that. So
now, have you connected with Derek, the guy that built the other site? I feel like you guys can tag team some stuff.
I haven't had a chance to talk to him yet. We're back and forth on email, just because with my job and his difference in time zone, it's been a little difficult. But we're gonna hook up at some point in time and chat about a few things.
Good. I feel like you guys can do some pretty incredible things, and he's just 5 minutes on the phone with him prior to doing the whole live stream thing. I was like, wow, this guy he knows what he's doing, so, and shit, you built that whole buddy check project site. So what you're doing, and then when your powers combine, you become, Captain Planet or whatever.
Was a bucket of water, Wonder Twin powers unite, bucket of water in a bucket.
That's it. That's all you need. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to Tony Slaughter. Hey everyone, nice to see you all. I have good news. I got my files from the VA. They're called C files. Excellent, man. I'm glad. I know he's been fighting for that for quite some time. So I'm glad you got him, buddy. Yeah,
hopefully it's up. It's good news from here moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So good, dude. I mean, John is out. He's flying somewhere. He's probably on a flight right now. and doing a work trip. So we were trying to hash out this stuff. And we're like, hey, what do you want to do for next week? We usually talk about this after the live stream. We have like our admin check or whatever.
Mhm.
Like, hey, good stuff. Here's what we could do better. Here's some funny comments, whatever it is. Just kind of like a hot wash, if you will. And and I'm like, hey, what about next week, man? Do we got any guests? We want to bring anybody on? Any topics? He's like, shit, I can't do next week, man. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, let's see what I can do. So, when it comes to that, I'm happy to open it up to anybody who wants to jump on and talk to folks, man. It's what it's about. The connection, the camaraderie, the network, all the good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I know I'm working on my, my second, episode, which hopefully, between, video and audio will be a little bit better. But I haven't got myself a Temu knockoff, microphone here. So, put the big bucks into this thing. But no, I'm researching identity and loss of identity.
That's a good one.
Yeah, so I've got a list of topics that I want to talk about. A lot of which I identify with. Coming out of the military, being 16 years retired, and just over the last couple of years, between the retirement and the second divorce, and the last 16 years of being a hermit, and so these are some areas that I'm doing some research on and stuff that hits home for me. So
excellent, man. Yeah, I applaud you for that, and I will say that there are, I don't know if you're into this, but there are universities out there who do want to bring people on, veterans specifically, to talk about all of this, like loss of identity, life after the military, for research projects. And I'll give you a quick example. I just connected with the social psychology department, the actual associate director of that department over at UCLA. And we're going to be having a meeting here pretty soon about it, because I asked them directly. I'm like, hey, look, I was reading a research piece that they did for my class, right, behavioral psychology, and I came across their thing. And I'm like, well, this is really interesting. And I reached out to that doctor. I was like, hey, have you guys ever thought about doing something like from the veteran perspective, like after leaving the service? And I introduced myself. I'm like, hey, my name's Vic. I'm a retired Marine doing all this stuff. I run a couple of live streams and this and that, And then they invited me on, and they're like, hey, we want to meet with you, and we want you to meet our team. Would you be available for that? I'm like, hell yeah, let's do this. Let's do like some deep research on this to see what we can do with it, to assist veterans and the mindset and all that stuff that maybe hasn't been touched on before, because there's a whole lot of research out there already, loss of tribe identity and all that good stuff. So there's a potential for that. I don't know if University of Washington, or I don't know who you'd reach out to, but their social psychology department out there might have something.
I don't know, UW. I think they're more interested in figuring out different types of identity, but we won't go down that road. So, but I mean, we've got a few options down here. I'm just checking into what I can. Again, with the full-time job that I have, the hours cut into a ton of what I could do if I had a little bit better arrangement. So I'm at work from 9 to 6. So you get just enough time to start doing something, but not finish it in the morning. 8 hours, 8.5 hours of work. And then by the time you get home, it's like, you just don't care. So it's been, it's been difficult. We're gearing up. I'm slowly but surely working with another group in our area, CMAC, the Community Military Appreciation Committee. And they handle 5 of the major events, veteran events through the year. And the one we've got coming up on the 22nd is, don't hit 57 because you can't remember a damn thing. I can't remember the name of it, but
It's already happened.
We basically host at one of the high schools. A lot of the seniors from different high schools in the area who have already or in the process of enlisting, and so we host them and their families, and it's a big thing with military and retired military and stuff like that coming together and meeting the enlistees and starting the hazing off right. I mean, and welcoming to the service and making sure that their parents know that we're not taking behind the boiler on board ship and providing training that way. But it's a big kickoff that they've done the last several years, and so this is my first year getting involved with that. And then from there, I think we've got a Memorial Day event and some other stuff coming down the line. But I don't know if I'll be able to do the Memorial Day event. I'm going to try and take a long weekend that weekend and head out to Coeur d'Alene for a few days and hang out with the guys at the realty that I'm hoping to work with. They have a pretty decent podcast as well. It's North Idaho Experience.
Okay.
And their podcast, they don't have a huge audience, but they about hour and some for their podcast. They bring on guests and stuff like that, and they've been dealing with some of the medical stuff. They've been dealing with a lot of veterans that bring businesses into the area and stuff like that. These guys are all first responders, police officers, some military, some firefighters and stuff like that. So a good group of guys kind of in the same mindset. So I'm going to try and see if I can't hang out with those guys for a little bit and kind of look in the area some more. But
good. Now, when you say work with, do you mean like actually go become a realtor out there, or like work with them to find a house for you?
Oh no, just to find property and stuff like that.
You don't want to be a realtor?
Yeah, no. No, it's a fairly saturated market, and it's it depends on where you're at as well. Washington, we got a little bit of fiscal flight out of the state with the last short session of Congress. I won't go down that road, but they're chasing people out of the state and thinking it's not going to happen. And realtors have a surplus of houses that are way too expensive, and nobody's coming to the state. So, I believe that. Yeah, I can't afford to take a year to become a realtor and then end up in, with that being my dependency for income. But I'm looking at 5 to 10 acres. God knows how I'm going to do this, but if I can do 5 to 10 acres, back up to some federal, state lands and federal lands, which throw a house on it, of some sort, tent, shanty, don't care, and maybe a couple of cabins and stuff like that, and have weekend retreats for veterans to come in. Just enhancing the ideas. So
there's a potential you could do that too with the nonprofit. If you start a nonprofit, purchase it under the nonprofit. For one, it's a write-off, and I don't think I don't know the laws over in Idaho, but potential write-off for like property taxes and stuff like that. Or you may be completely exempt from any of that stuff too.
Yeah, I'll take a look at that. I follow one of the other groups that I follow is Roll to Heal. And it's they're a group of veterans that do online gaming and in-person gaming, board games and role-playing games and stuff like that. And there's a lot of research behind gaming and mental health and depression research and stuff like that. And so these guys they do a Saturday night about a couple hours on Twitch, and one week they'll introduce a new game that they're going to do, and then talk about some mental health topics and stuff like that. And then, but they just got their 501, and is talking to them just kind of off the cuff a little bit, and they all have this 1,000-yard stare. They're like, we're happy to have gotten it, But if you can work through another person that already has, another group that already has a 501c3, it is so much easier to deal with that.
Yeah, then you
try
branch
and
off of
build it
that
out yourself. And so you look in those directions too, because it can be a monster.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. Yeah, we just had a one of those in-person veteran coffee meetups here in San Diego, and had a buddy of mine, retired Master Sergeant, who flew out. We had breakfast, we had coffee and all that good stuff, and we met up with another gentleman here. He's usually in the chat, and we were talking about the 501 potentially doing like the veteran coffee nonprofit, and how tough that would be. Like how you got to establish board members. You have to, if you make a certain amount of money, you got to start reporting all that stuff. So a lot more than I would want to be involved in. But I mean, it's a possibility. It's just somewhat of a heavy lift.
Yeah. Some of these big groups, I absolutely get it, because then you got bylaws, you've got required open access meetings, and a certain number of board members, and all the stuff that's involved with that. The smaller groups, I think it's way too heavy of a lift. That's why you try and associate yourself with an active 501. And I don't know exactly how you'd work around something like that, but I definitely can see the benefits of that, where with especially if you're working full time, like for instance the photography group that that me and John were part of, Operation Headshot.
Oh
yeah, and they're 501, and you're talking to them, the same 1,000-yard stare, but and even though they've got the 501, they're having a tough time bringing in money, but they're do what you got to do, do all the reporting and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm still a part of that, and so I'm slowly but surely getting my tentacles out there. But
that's good. Yeah. Then you'd have to do some research on grant writing. I mean, just doing. We were actually just that same Master Sergeant, right? We were talking about it, and then I went home, started looking up how many grants there are for like veteran type of organizations. Tens of millions of dollars, man, like a ton of money to help, the veteran and all this stuff, through educational, through mental health and all that stuff. So I'm like, okay, well, there's a potential here. Not that I'm trying to bring this in for myself. I want to bring it in for an organization. If we establish an organization, to build it up, to get the word out, to establish marketing, to establish services, things like that. So there's a potential, but you got to be a grant writer, man. You got to do the research on that one too. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I've looked at some of the grant stuff, and you have to be very specific about what you're looking for.
Yes.
You can't just be drop veteran in the search bar and hello. Hold on. That's my co-host. You can't just drop veteran in the search bar, because you only get like 16 grants that come up. You have to be very specific about what you're looking for, topic wise. And then, hence, ChatGPT is good about, building that out. But then even then, the percentage of those based on who you are and how you're, what you're applying it towards and stuff like that, eliminate you from a large number of grants as well.
Absolutely.
So it's definitely not for the faint of heart, trying to find those things. If you can find them and you can actually, do some decent grant writing, I mean, there's opportunities out there, but I
mean, there's a lot of places hiring for that too. Anytime I go on, maybe like job searches or anything like that, there are a lot of these organizations looking for grant writers. I don't have experience in that, but I figured if I can attach myself and work for free and learn how to do this, I can probably, just say, hey, look, I had some experience in writing a grant, and then voila, you open yourself up to a job. But they do pay. There's a lot of folks that want good grant writers out there.
Oh yeah, no, you'll see that in a lot of the schools, school districts, and that have openings for grant writers because they just can't. Too much of the funding ends up going to administration, not to the schools, and then the schools are forced to go out and try and find their own funding. It's just ridiculous how that works. But that's another topic we won't cover. But yeah.
I completely understand that. They got
fundraisers on what to talk about, without going down the bad road. But
it is hard, man. It is hard. And for a lot of the times when I'm doing research on what I want to talk about, the road always kind of goes that way. And I'm like, okay, well, how can I find a different way to present this where it doesn't go that way? Because it is all in our faces all the time, right? But that is not the only, politics is not the only issue that we're dealing with. There's a whole lot of stuff going on in vets' lives. I mean, shit, we just heard from Untrackable.
Yeah.
The other guy, Untrackable 5705, how he was going through some stuff, right? Not necessarily political or anything like that. Just he was going through some stuff, and now he's in a better place. So I'm like, okay, well, there's a whole lot that we can get into. Some of it may have ties to politics, but a lot of it does not. And it is kind of jumping through hurdles a little bit, trying to figure out how to bring up a new topic when it comes to veteran stuff and then kind of get the whole political thing out of the way.
Yeah.
But I completely get it, man.
Yeah, it's a tough one, especially with the number of organizations that we end up needing to have to support veterans. There was a group that I saw on that North Idaho Experience podcast, a couple of guys that did got out of the Navy, had some good PSD going on, and ended up getting a sailboat, one of the motorized sailboats, and doing the trip from, I think, Florida down to, it was either California or Florida or something like that, down to the southern tip of South America, which has got really heavy water down there and stuff like that.
They do, yeah, just south of Argentina,
they've got something going on with. I'll send you the information. It's kind of interesting. They've got something going on where they bring vets out on sailing trips and stuff like this. But this was kind of the big thing that they were generating money for, and it took them what they hoped would be 6 months. I think 6 or 8 months turned out to be 2 years. Wow. One of the boats burned up a little bit, and they had go through engine repairs and all sorts of things, and finally ended up getting down there. But in that story, they were talking about going through the Panama Canal, and they ended up they ended up going through with another smaller boat, another motorized boat, and it was manned by a group of UK Army. And so one of the things that the UK does with their military is when they get back from places like Iraq or Afghanistan or whatever, where they're doing, actual supporting, operational supporting roles, is they send them out on 2-week, month-long PTSD refresh things, and they're, I think,
like an R&R type of thing.
Yeah, I think so, like hosted by the UK government. So it's not just R&R, but it's actual specific programs that they've got set up so that when they go out, they're going out with the same guys they were with, and you're all, getting things out in the air. You're all doing this together. You're all coming back mentally refreshed together, not just going out and each person doing their own thing. Is with us, each person doing their own thing is who goes to which bar, who goes to which place who stays in their room and doesn't do anything. These guys actually get sent out on these things. And they thought it was really interesting. They talked to those guys, and I think they partied with them one night, and then everybody kind of went off in their own direction. But I think the biggest takeaway that I got from that was the number of organizations that vets put together, or some civilians that back veterans and that. But a lot of the veterans that put together these organizations to try and provide that mental support that the government just doesn't.
And you would think that they would, right?
Yeah. And that falls down to how many veterans are on the street, how many veterans are getting ready to be on the streets. What money are they putting into what direction? What money is going where with the government? Why are we not covering our veterans as much as we should be? Why is the VA's mental health program structured strictly for PTSD and frontline personnel versus all the rest of us? Which is another reason why I'm trying the podcast route, because I want to reach the rest of us, the ones that weren't on the front lines, but still. I mean, I was in the Gulf, and our battle group was shooting missiles up into northern Iraq. So we were in condition on board ship. I was in the Persian Gulf when the Cole was bombed in the Port of Aden. But we weren't front line, but we still felt all of that stress. And, so it's not just the frontline guys. It's not just the special operators. It's not just the Deltas and the SEALs and stuff like that, which is 99% of your podcasts. And, so you're just trying to reach out to the rest of us.
Absolutely, man. And that's the same thing that we're doing here, right? I mean, not everybody's a special operator. I was not a special operator. So, I mean, I don't know that life. I have a brother who was attached to special operations. He was not a special operator himself. However, he has some kind of experience with that life. So he tells me a little bit about it. He's like, dude, it's, there's some PTSD that happens there. Yeah. Some training, like as Tony Slaughter mentioned, some training trauma as well. I had my brother-in-law was also a Marine, and this man broke his back while in service. So, I mean, there's a lot that goes along with that. Yeah. Let me see. I was going to bring something up here, and I can't recall what the hell it was.
Where
the hell? Oh, yeah. So I recently reached out to, and I have yet to hear back, but to the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps. So this guy, Carlos Reis, the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps, he released a video sometime, I want to say sometime this year, on mental health, mental fitness, and essentially telling the force, the enlisted force, right, that you may be going through something and it's okay to reach out, right? That makes you a human being. It's okay to reach out. And I wanted to reach out to him to get his mindset on preparing these folks for the next mission, which is a lot of folks don't stay in the Marine Corps or any military branch for that matter for 20 years. A lot of them get out. It's like a 1% of the thing, right? A lot of them get out, after one enlistment, two enlistments, whatever the case may be. But how prepared are they when they get out mentally? I'm not talking about resumes. I'm not talking about interviewing skills. I'm talking about like integrating back into becoming a civilian, a person that's not always on edge. If you've maybe been through some trauma or something like that, or maybe having some anger issues that, you've had while in service. So I wanted to see and ask him directly, because he kind of alluded to it, but didn't really talk about it in depth. But what kind of programs can we integrate into maybe like a TAPS or TRS program that can assist? Because when I went through it, there was no mental health stuff. Nobody from medical mental health came in to talk to us. I'm like, okay, well, that would probably be a good step in the right direction if you included that in TAPS or in TRS or something. So
Yeah.
hopefully
Yeah.
the answer's back.
Yeah, I've actually got quite a bit of research that I'm doing for that podcast, and I'll put it in my notes when I do it. But like, for instance, Rand Corporation and the VA both did research on what they call identity marginalization by military coming out of the service. And one of the quotes, it's identity marginalization represents a societal no man's land where a veteran rejects or feels rejected by both military and civilian cultures. You're no longer in the military, so now you're just a veteran. And then, but you're civilian. Well, civilians don't understand where we came from, and so you don't have experience, even though you've got massive amounts of experience. According to research on reculturization or reculturation, the strategy carries the highest risks for a veteran's well-being and long-term stability. And it's are we meeting that with TAPS, for instance? And there's actually, according to the research, there's actually a fairly decent-ish percentage of people that come out, even though TAPS is such a fire hose of information, that come out with enough to be able to support themselves moving forward. But I think what they miss is that 3, 4, 5 years later, it hits. And they're not prepared for that. And TAPS is long gone. And some of these other programs are long gone. And now all of a sudden they're just there. And that, for me, that hit about 2 years ago. So 14 years retired. And now I'm, I was laid off from a decent position. And I'm sitting there looking back and thinking, did any of this prepare me? Did I prepare myself? And I hold a certain amount of responsibility for not being prepared, whether it be, financially or mentally or stuff like that. But there's a lot of it that the military should follow through with, especially, the more of the long-termers. I don't give any slant to, anybody that's a one and done. By any means, you did the job as well. Either it wasn't your thing or that's all you were looking to do. Sure. And, great. And, there's nothing that says that you can't come out with some issues as well. But the more long-termers, you've been culturized. It's like animals in the Humane Society. The longer ones have been in cages, get used to those cages. And then once it gets harder for them to adjust to life outside of that.
Exactly.
And it's the same thing with us. Now we're coming out of the military, and with the exception of more your senior officers and stuff like that roll into the same positions as civilians as high level GS employees doing the same stuff that they were doing. Which, we've seen plenty of that. Yeah. A lot of us we don't have that same option, so we come out, and if we're lucky enough to get into a position that matches what we were doing, like for me, getting into law enforcement. But when I got out, there were a lot of financial issues going on governmentally with some of the departments and stuff like that. So there were major hiring freezes. So being able to get into a position was difficult. And even then, the number of positions that were even open. I was going for one position in police department in Gresham, Oregon. And there were 512 applicants for 3 positions. And by the time we got down to the top 5, and I was number 3 on the list, they had actually, budget-wise, they had reduced that to 1 position. Thankfully, I didn't get hired because within 2 years, the gangs had moved out from Portland, and Gresham was one of the higher gang concentration areas, and I just don't want to play that. So, I'm happy I didn't get hired for that. But even State Patrol per hiring session, 700 applicants per hiring session. So it's difficult to get into some of those positions. So you look at other positions, you look at what you can do. I was doing private security. I did retail. I did school security, things of that nature. I kind of bounced all over the place. Finally got into cybersecurity for 9 years. But even cybersecurity, the tenure for most people in cybersecurity is 2 to 3 years because they bounce from job to job because, companies don't want to pay a ton for cybersecurity in and of itself. because it's along with private security. If nothing bad happened, why are we paying for all these people? And
Right.
so they cut budgets and stuff like that. And so here I am at 57 with a ton of experience, a ton of leadership experience. And yeah, best I can get is low level phone support and things of that nature. And, we're supposed to take that and mentally process that as that's the way things are. So,
Well, I can see that, how that can work. I mean, you're kind of, you're filtering everything out, right? Like you're kind of figuring out where you need to be now. So it's like, hey, things aren't working out for you. I don't know if you believe in fate or anything like that, but things are not working out for you on the work side. I mean, you have a full-time job here, right? But this gives you the fuel to concentrate on Buddy Check Project now. Like, hey, how can I make this my job? So same as what I'm doing with like the whole YouTube thing. It was fun. It's fun. It is fun for YouTube and being able to connect and all that. But then I'm like, okay, well, how can I do this full time? And there's tons of people doing it. How can I do this full time, continue to help vets, not take money from them, but, bring in sponsors and stuff like that. I'm still trying to work out all the kinks and making sure that I can do everything like the right way. But there's a need for stuff like, hey, if you wanted to talk about your expertise, which you're already doing at Buddy Check Project, right? On YouTube. There's a need for that, for some insight from folks who have been there and done that. So I think your thing is going to do very well. So just keep on with it, man. Because I'm waiting for the next episode.
yeah, consistency is king, and one episode in the tank.
Yeah,
Well,
hey,
we'll
it is king, man, and people are gonna want to keep coming back for another episode. Hey, what's Steve doing this week, right? And what's he gonna talk about this week, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm already excited about it. It's why I keep kind of showing up and have been with John every Sunday for almost a year and a half. Is for one, we have fun. I have fun talking to John, and it's great when you can find like a co-host or someone like that who you enjoy, who, mind you, I mean, we're both veterans as well, so that's a plus. But we mesh well together, and I didn't realize that when I first started talking to him. So, but it also helps that we're very involved in the veteran community ourselves, and so I've had talks with him as well. Like, hey, man, what if we did this full time? What if but he's staying out in Italy. It's a little tough to kind of do it here. I'm in San Diego. He's in Italy. I'm like, well, if I wanted to actually start something, and I wanted to have meetings in person, it would be kind of hard to do that. We have the internet, yes, but he has his day job. I've got my things that I got going on. So trying to make this a full-time job, man.
Yeah. And that's the thing, I mean, you have to, it's great to want to do the full-time thing. And that's, that's where I am at with this, because I'm at the mindset where I'm tired of doing the workaday. And granted, it was a major financial strain over the last 2 years, being underemployed, only working for,
oh yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, I worked for the fire marshal's office, supporting the fire code officers by being the middleman between contractors and fire suppression system owners, but doing that part-time because that's all they had the funding for. And then finding a month into the job that the city was $8 million in the hole, the biennium budget was coming up, and they laid off 15 new part-time hires across all departments. I was one of them. And, so you get the pushback, you get the one step forward, two steps back. And I would, it comes down to, I would rather do the full-time thing myself, doing it myself, but you have to get to that point with your setup before you can not be dependent on, being in the workaday world. And I mean, I'm not saying anything that we don't all know, but, especially at this age, it makes it difficult because you're not as spry as you used to be. And I hate saying that because I'm becoming an old bastard. I'm looking at getting GLP-1 because I'm carrying 2 of me than I was in boot camp. But
I'll tell you, I'm catching up to you, man. I mean, I just turned a year older yesterday, so I'm catching up to you, dude.
Well, I'll stop and let you pass me. I'm sure we can do that somewhere. It's 2026. We don't have flying cars, but I'm sure we can stop time.
Yeah, I identify as 60.
Yeah. Oh God.
Or 25.
Some days. Yeah, my lower back. Yeah, Tony Slaughter's asking about AFFF. Is he talking about aqueous film forming foam or whatever the mystical stuff is that causes cancer and everybody know? Yeah, I was investigator in the ship during general quarters drills. So you all work in one of the God, what do they call it? Yeah, boy, I'm 16 years now. I'm starting to forget my terminology. But if the ship goes to general quarters, then you work out of, especially when you're fighting shipboard fires, you work out of different repair lockers. And I was out of repair 5 most of the time, which is main space. But I also worked out of repair 1 because I was military police. So we would go out and we'd do forward investigations to investigate damage or potential damage on the ship and stuff like that. But dealt with AFFF, not directly, but that's what we had on board. We dealt with PKP powder as an engineer at one point in time. It's a powder that is it's in a pressurized fire extinguisher. It's not pressurized until you hit the button on the top, and that pressurizes the powder inside, and it sprays out this talcum-like powder that covers, and is used in electrical rooms and stuff like that. So it covers the fire and basically suppresses the fire at that point. So that you're not using water to destroy electronics. You're not using the AFFF, which is a conductor, and things like that. But we had some scholar on my first ship who went down to one of our machinery rooms. I was on actually the ship that I've got in the background, AOE2. It's a oil or ammunition supply ship. And I was down, we went down into one of the machinery rooms, which is a pump room for fuel, and on the electrical side. And some little jackass had come in and decided he wanted to see what the PKP extinguisher does. And from the upper catwalk, he had popped the extinguisher and sprayed the entire room. So we had to go down as a division and sweep and clean up all this powder. And you can't go down there with mops and buckets because that powder becomes acidic to electrical equipment if you get it wet. So we had to get it off of all the equipment before we could even start doing anything with the powder that was on the deck. So yeah, no, I've dealt with AFFF, I've dealt with PKP in my short but storied career in machinery. Never to go back. Oh, it's not my area. I'd much rather arrest somebody or deal with evidence than deal with engineering. So
there you go. Yeah. So there were I've not dealt with that myself. I've not been on a ship, but what I do recall was I was my unit lead for like a project management style thing. They were redoing this historic building at that we were working in over on Kaneohe Bay. So like had bullet holes on the side of the building and all that stuff. You can't touch the outside. It's protected, right, from the historical society or whatever. However, the inside was getting all worked on because it was from, many, many years ago. So I'm still expected to work. I set up all these, the trailers. I had to get with the S6 to have them connect all the freaking wiring for internet access and all that good stuff. Until then, I was the last person. My office was the last one on that wing that the construction was happening in. So they put tarps up and all that stuff, and they start like jackhammering next door to me, and there's a bunch of dust coming off, and I'm like, oh shit, what is? Maybe I shouldn't be breathing this in. So because they're pounding. I got a video of it, man. Like I'm sitting there at my desk, and I'm like, I'm doing some kind of report or whatever the hell I'm doing, and then just poof, and like a pound or something like that, and then just a bunch of dust. I'm like, damn. And so they bring this meter. My boss requests a meter, and they're like, just an asbestos tester, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, all that shit was asbestos that was kind of floating around. I was like, yeah, maybe we should not be here. So, and there was pieces of the wall on my side chipping off and falling. And I'm like, why the hell am I still? So I moved all my stuff out of there. I worked somewhere else, right? Years later, I'm doing my PCS move and all that, and I found my little Ziploc bag full of little asbestos particles and all that stuff that I saved, and I put a date on there just in case.
Yep.
Saved it just in case for like, hey, look, if something happens to my chest, my lungs, or something like that, here's the day that this all happened. I have the proof right here in this little Ziploc bag. But yeah, man, it's all that stuff. The asbestos, that what is it called? PKP.
Mm-hmm.
That's all the crap that we're exposed to while we're in uniform, and we don't even realize until years later.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that ship behind me was commissioned in '67, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So a year before I was born, and when I first got on board, I was a machinist. I was working down in the number one MMR, number one machinery room in the lower level, and so I had the engine is above me, and the in front of me, because I dealt with dealing with oil separators and dealing with water generation and stuff like that, because we generated our own water. And in front of me were three or four other turbines that connected to the bulkhead, and on the other side were fuel pumps. And at one point in time, I get down to my work. We're in port. I get down to my workstation. I'm hanging out. And there's a plastic all up, taped off, and everything. And they're removing all the insulation from these steam turbines. And it's all asbestos insulation. And so I'm down in space, but they've at least got it, taped off and all that stuff. So they're doing proper remediation. But stuck hanging out with that too. So yeah.
Hell no. Hell no, dude. I can't. After that, like the buildings over in K-Bay didn't have actual windows, right? We had these, the building was old. It had like these, I guess, I don't know what you call them, these shades or whatever it is, like these big glass slats that you can move up and down. So they open up.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's like from maybe 3 feet off the floor all the way up to the ceiling. It was just like these glass things you can move up and down, right?
Yeah,
and that was our window,
panels or something like that.
Yeah.
Louvered.
Yeah. So the panels, right? So when they were doing the work on the outside of the building, I was sitting there talking to my boss, and then just like plumes of dust were coming up, and then we're looking at each other, and he's like, "Hell no!" And so we walk out, and we're like, you would think that they would give us like word, hey, we're going to be extracting asbestos here. Maybe don't be in the building, but these fools, they didn't. So we brought it up to the NAFAC, the NAFAC project manager. I'm like, hey, look, y'all got to give some word, man. We got people working here. So that's when we moved everybody to the cans. But yeah, it's crazy, man.
Oh, people could die. Oh yeah.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
People can, asphyxiate, whatever the hell. So yeah, it was a little crazy. That's the fun. Just digressing here real quick. Funny story. When we went into the cans, or these trailers, we had this guy. He was a judge, right? Colonel type, and he had outfitted his trailer with all his stuff, right? His awards and all that stuff. He had his own thing, right? We wanted the judge to have his own thing. And he brought in his, you ever seen those little inverters? You know, like where you strap your legs in and you go upside down to release the pressure in your back?
Yeah.
So this fool, I'm over here, I'm checking, you know, I'm the last one out of the office. I'm checking the doors and stuff like that, making sure everything's locked. I'm like just seeing if the building duty actually did its job. So I just happened to be walking by, locking or wiggling the handles. And so the judge's handle opens. I'm like, this mother, you know, I'm thinking, I'm like, this freaking duty didn't lock it. So I opened the door, you know, and sure enough, the judge is upside down on his inverter. And he's like, Vic, his face is red. He's like, Vic, he's like, come help me up. I was like, sir, how long have you been there? He's like, just a few minutes, but I can't get up. The thing didn't stop. It went all the way over. And I'm like, God damn, like, good thing I came by, because who knows how long you would have been there.
Oh God. Some of those officers, man, I tell you what, I had a JAG on that ship. I was working on the carrier. I was on the Abraham Lincoln, and I was working investigations. Me and one of the other MA2s were working investigations, and the nice thing about it is it was right after the Marines had left, because they reconfigured to a forward deployed force, so they pulled the Marines off the carriers, and so we ended up taking over the steam room, the steam shop, that for the uniform pressing and stuff like that. So it was already insulated. It was a split split half door, so we could bring people in there and we could interrogate them and no one else could hear. It was great. But I can neither confirm nor deny. I've got that on a page too. But the JAG comes down. So it's this lieutenant commander, and this guy, he was, are you getting too hot again? Yeah, you jumped out there for a second.
What happened there?
But yeah, I wonder if you're.
Give me a second here. I'm always moving something. There we go. The beauty of the live stream. Beauty of the live stream.
But this guy comes down to the office, and he's MA1. I've got something for you. So I'm standing at this half door. I've got the top of the door open, and we got our evidence safe and stuff like that. So I keep the bottom door closed and locked, and whatever. He comes over. He's like, I got something for you, and he hands me this DVD case. I'm like, what's this? He said, I found this up in officers' country. We need to investigate this. I was okay. So I flipped the thing open and I'm looking through it, and it's unsavory videos of the same-sex type. God knows what you can say on YouTube these days. And so I'm looking through this. I'm like, oh my, okay. At the time it was a thing. And so I look up. There's no one in the door. I'm like, so I peek my head out, and I see the tail end of the lieutenant commander cross the passageway and taking a turn going up a ladder. I'm like, okay, well, this is great. Chain of custody just dumped. So I unlock and I chase after him. Don't find him. He apparently went a different way, stopped into his office, grabbed something, and then went home for the day. So I come back and I'm like, well, chain of custody went out the door. So I dropped it in the safe, put a 30-day on it, and he comes down to me, what's the investigation on? I said, I have no idea. 1, there's no chain of custody. 2, you didn't tell me where you found it. 3, you didn't give me any, time frame, nothing. There's no story behind this. You just handed me this and said, go forth and do good. And I'm like, that's not how things work. So, we're on a 2-week, it was 30 days, and I'm playing Frisbee off the tail end of the ship with the DVDs, because it was a destruction order. But the amount of times that happened. On the flip side, we had a CO on my first ship, this ship, and I was up there, and at the time I was working A division, which is auxiliary, so it's machinery, but like fuels and steam and stuff like that, not down the main space. And I'm up on the bridge, and I'm draining down because they this 1960 ship, so they had the heat regulator things that you'd find in older homes and stuff like that for heat. And I'm draining those down so we can get the steam, because they'll fill up with condensate, and then the steam won't roll, and then they won't heat up. So I'm up there draining that thing down. And at the time, we had one of our new guys, and they had put him up on the deck, kind of forward of where I'm pointing at my screen, up here where that's a Sea Sparrow launcher, and right up near there, they had him out there in a poopy suit, which is the big orange suit that they use when they're working on the toilet lines, the toilet water lines and stuff like that. Big helmet with screen on it. They had him with 3 lines connected to pad eyes on the deck, and they had a bow hook stern hook that they use in small boats. So it's a long pole with a hook on the end. And they had him set out there because he was doing male buoy watch. I don't know if you've heard of this. It's something that we do with our new people to make sure that they collect the mail off the mail buoy as it passes by, which doesn't happen. It's the same thing as finding bulkhead cleaner or sound-powered phone batteries. So
I was thinking about how that would work. Yeah, but
we had him fully dressed out on here. And even if it was something, there's no way that this pole from the NATO deck is going to reach anywhere out to waterside to even.
Right.
But he's up there, and the CO comes on deck, and he's looking out, and it basically went XO. What's going on there? And the XO looks out, and he kind of, without missing a beat, he just kind of looks at CO and says, "Well, sir, I think we have a mail buoy watch." And we're all kind of frozen because there's a couple of us machinist mates up there. We're like, either we're going to get our rears handed to us, or the CO kind of walks around, checks on a couple of things, goes back, looks at the XO and says, "Tell you what, give him another 20 minutes and then take him down and tell him he missed the damn buoy." It was great having the officers that were cool about that stuff, and you just never knew. But
you don't know who you're going to be working for, nothing like that. So I've seen my share of that stuff too. Not the buoy stuff, but cool.
I was in that period where right before the tailhook convention, where the flight officers screwed it up for everybody because they had all that stuff went down. And so I went through a true crossing the line ceremony, started at 3:30 in the morning, went through half the day, where you're crawling around on deck and you're getting beat up to it, to a certain degree. I mean, nothing major, and stuff like that, and yelling for Flipper, screaming for Flipper, and singing row 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 your boat in a rowboat on deck while being hit by 3 different fire hoses. And
is this when you cross the equator, the shellback? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I'm a shellback and I believe it's a golden shellback, because I did the equator, and then I did the equator and the international dateline.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so there's 3 or 4 different. There's a blue nose when you hit the Arctic Circle, and then a couple of different ones for regular crossing of the equator. But and then we had tailhook, and then all of a sudden it all went away, because how government and military, it starts at one end of the pendulum and then it swings to the others. There's no middle ground. Yeah. And so I'm glad that I went through it when I was able to go through it, because the new ones I'm not too keen on, but
you got the real taste of it then, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And then we got let me see, going to the comments real quick. Tony Slaughter, is it true, Navy cop, that you don't get chief unless you get a DUI, unless you have a DUI?
I never got a DUI, so I retired E6. Yeah.
There's a saying in the Marine Corps. It's like you're not a real Marine unless you're divorced and have a DUI. So everybody else is just pretending to be a Marine.
Yeah, I'm halfway there. So
Yeah. I suppose I'm not then, I suppose, according to those rules. Mo perspective, a little hazing never hurt anybody. Right. Never hurt anybody to go down to the tree line and have a little counseling session.
Yeah, it's the ones that take it too far that always mess it up for everybody.
Yeah. And you know, I've got a little taste of that myself. Doing like Marine Corps martial arts when I was young pup, I should say. And just this is coming from like a pissed off staff sergeant who probably had a bad day and didn't want to be there anyway. So there's a thing called break falls. So you're basically standing there, and then you have to get a warrior stance, and then you move your leg to the side, and you have to fall to the side, right? Just practicing how you fall. So imagine that times like 50. And so like my side was completely bruised. He's like, all right, do it again. All right, do it again. Do it again. Get up, do it again. And I'm like, shit, man. I'm like, but we were doing it in like the tree line, like the woods, right? It was like maybe 3 of us. There were 3 or 4 of us that were doing it. We were all young, right? We were like lance corporals, like E3s. And I'm like landed on rocks and shit, like sticks. I'm like, fuck, man, this is like the worst place to do it, you know? And he's just pissed off. And that was my first taste of that. Yeah. And I guess, no, actually my first taste of all that was we used to have this thing called, and I won't say it on the live stream, but it was a field day, right? Field day where you clean up everything. I had just checked into Camp Pendleton. I was still in my green weenie suit, right? My alphas, service alphas. Still had like my freaking bag, my green bag, my sea bag with all the stuff. And there was a pissed off sergeant at the barracks. And all I wanted to know was which room was mine. He's like, set your shit down, start moving furniture out to the catwalk. And I'm like, oh, can I change over? He's like, nope, start moving. I'm in my suit, like my alphas, moving like wall lockers out so they can like, and I'm like, damn, this is like my first introduction to checking into Camp Pendleton, my first ever duty station coming from the schoolhouse or from MCT, Marine Combat Training. So I was, that was the first introduction to that. And I'll never forget it. And I talked to the guy afterwards. He laughs about it. He's like, oh yeah, you were there, huh? Oh yeah. I was like, yeah, you told me I couldn't fucking change over, dude. I ruined my freaking alphas, dude. I got caught on like nails and shit that were sticking out. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's bad. Yeah. But yeah, I guess Mo perspective is right. A little hazing never hurt. It builds character, is what it does. Builds character.
And I like it when it's across the spectrum of people. We on that ship we were male only until my last year we were there. We got 100 females were transferred, so they had their own berthing and stuff like that. It was one of the first integrations of that class of ship, and we got a female medical officer, a female lieutenant. And somebody down in my division decided to send one of our new guys. They were sending him around to different areas. They sent him down to get a BT punch. You never want to get a BT punch. Well, we don't have BTs anymore, but you go down and you ask a BT, hey, they told me I need a BT punch, and they will give you a BT punch, and it sucks.
Hold on, explain this to me. What is a BT punch? Because I don't know.
A BT is a boiler tech. So in the engineering spaces, you have machinist mates that work on most of the equipment, and then the boiler techs work on the boilers on the 600 and 1,200 pound main engine plants that use boilers instead of reactors to create steam. And these guys are generally fairly beefy guys.
Yeah, so, I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you send somebody down to get a BT punch, they're basically asking to get punched by a BT. And but somebody sent the same guy a couple of weeks later. And I found out after they'd already sent him up because they needed some tubing for one of our auxiliary systems. They sent him up to the medical officer because they wanted to see if he could get 20 or 30 feet of fallopian tube. This kid had no idea what that was and sent him up. And so now he says, oh, yeah, I sent him up to get such and such. And we're all in the office like, we're all going to get killed. They just put females on board. We're all going to get killed. Thanks, dude. So we're sitting here, on eggshells waiting for this guy. And he comes back down probably about 20 minutes later. And he comes walking in. And he said, yeah, she said she couldn't provide that much, but she gave me 2 feet of this and pulled out 2 feet of medical tubing and said that's all she could provide. And we're like, oh God, she's one of us.
Oh, okay. Good. Good.
Yeah.
That's
tubing. Oh yeah. It was some good stuff.
Oh man. Yeah. There's I do miss those. I do miss those. We used to mess with our young guys too. We sent them up to the Master Gunnery Sergeant's office, the E9, and we're like, hey, we need this paperwork from Master Guns, man. And this dude was like, he was always like pissed off for some reason. He was going through like a divorce that later on I found out, so it wasn't anything nice to play with. But we're like, hey, we need this form from Master Guns, man. Go over there, go ask him for the prick E9 form. And then he's like, how do you spell it? I was like, PRC E9. Just ask him. He knows what I'm talking about. Just ask him for the prick E9. And then he goes over there, and you just hear down the hall, get the fuck out of my office. And we're like, oh, got him. So, and then he came down and talked to us. Hey, don't go sending that BS down to my office, man. I'm busy. I got things going on. I could have gone, Master Guns. Could have gone.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's nothing that says that we didn't take it over the top on some of this stuff, but I mean, you got to get the frustrations out somehow, or if you're in stressful situations, you do what you do because we're going to do the job, but we're also going to laugh about it. And, dark humor is our thing. So
it makes it fun. Now it can overstep sometimes where it's like, like I've been a part of that before, and I had to take a step back, and I'm like, hey dog, you all right? But he's like, no, I was just messing, sir. I was just messing. I'm like, all right, just making sure. But dark, the dark humor is definitely a part of the culture, so when have you ever cleaned up flight lines? Like we used to have to do this, I forgot what they called it.
The FOD walk down?
FOD walk, so you'd have to like pick up like trash and all that stuff. So
luckily we didn't have to do that on the carrier. They had enough Airedales to do that stuff, but yeah. So we would have to do the FOD walk, and there was a lot of birds, right? The birds get sucked up into the engines too. So they're like, hey, we got to clear out the birds. And I was a young warthog, right? So I was like, hey, what do we do with like the eggs and stuff? Like maybe there's like nests, and he's like, oh, you just axe stomp them. I'm like, what? Like just take your leg and just axe stomp them, like with the heel of your boot. And I'm like, you're not serious. And sure enough, the guy's like this, axe stomping. I was like, holy shit, man, I guess he's serious. So you just see a line of Marines doing FOD walks, just axe stomping the whole flight line. I was like, damn. That's messed up. Oh man.
What 660 love say on here? Love sending a newbie to all the supply sergeants to get a box of grid squares to the motor pool sergeant for a hammer to check out Bradley's for soft spots. Or the keys to the Humvee. Give me the keys to the Humvee.
Oh yeah. We'd send them to get the keys to the ship's engine.
Okay.
Yeah, stuff like that. And if you had a newbie that you sent to a lot of people, because we knew a lot of people on board, and you could send them from one place to another, and they'd weigh them down with stuff. They'd generate logbooks just to screw around with people. Signing out the keys to the ship's sea chest and stuff like this, and they put like a little key to like one of your little locks, and they put it on a chain, and they'd hook that to like a 50-pound spare piece of equipment or something like that. So now they're hauling this thing around with a key that goes to nowhere, and they'd have to sign it out on a logbook, and they'd have to go find somebody else and stuff like this. Oh yeah, we apparently had way too much time on our hands, but
yeah. This reminds me of some boot camp stuff. So we used to have these. They were like these rocks. They were pretty heavy, right? Maybe like 12, 15 pounds or something like that. That would hold open. For some reason, they'd be like on the deck at boot camp, right? They'd hold open the doors. Like instead of like a door stop, for some reason you'd have this little this rock. It was like painted red. They call it the dragon's tooth for some reason. So when they wanted to mess with you, and they're like, hey, if you request, hey, I go up to the drill instructor, request to go to the head, sir, and they're like, all right, grab a buddy. And we're like, it didn't happen to me, but I saw it happen. They're like, okay, yes, sir. And he goes and grabs somebody. He's like, all right, both of you have to hold this dragon's tooth together as you go to the urinal together. So you see these two cats holding this rock while they're trying to take a whiz, dude. It's the stupidest thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what sets that camaraderie that civilians just don't have.
Right. Yeah. So
when
shared struggles.
Oh yeah. When it comes full circle back to identity and loss of identity, I mean, it's a huge part of it.
Yeah. So, when's the next time you're ever going to hold a dragon's tooth or a rock at a corporate
for the most
job
absurd reason whatsoever? Yeah.
Yeah. Never. Right.
Yeah.
And like Tony Slaughter says, I'm still doing knife hands, Still to this day, knife hand in the floor. Hey, you didn't clean the floor to my kids. So yeah, we got it. We field day here at the house too. We field day every usually it's on Sundays to start the week off right. But my kids complain, Dad, it's a day of rest. I'm like, yeah, not for you though. Not for you.
I'd let you sleep in 1 extra hour. Now let's get to work. That's what we did on ship. Yeah.
Yeah. Take Arnold Schwarzenegger's advice. Just sleep a little faster. Sleep a little
absolutely. Faster. All right. Well, man. I'm gonna jump out and
it was great having you, dude.
Come on. I mean, you're at 2:37 there, dude. So,
yeah. I think I might jump off of here soon. I got a nice day of homework that's due tonight. So got to get on that stuff. But yeah, great having you, man. And, just check out anybody out there listening, check out buddycheckproject.com, or it's at buddycheckproject in the search bar on YouTube, right? Yeah.
I'm not sure. I've got it under a different hosted account, so I'm not sure how all that stuff works, but you can still get to it. So.
Awesome. So yeah, Buddy Check Project, Navy Cop MA1. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
All right, man.
All right, take it easy. Yeah, so all good things, all great stories. Great to connect with folks and think back to all the fun, silly things that we used to do back in the day. Tony Slaughter brings it up too. Man, you're giving me some freaking PTSD here with lights, where the drill instructors banging on the trash cans and stuff like that. Those are real things that happen. And actually, I dare to say that some of the best nights of sleep I ever got were at boot camp, because you're so tired out, you fall right asleep. But then you have to wake up to lights, run online, hold your little bag up, and then count off. So it's funny how that works. I appreciate everybody coming on. Shout out to all the folks that jumped on. Oliver Rust, shout out to you. Hey, I saw you on there, buddy, but I wasn't able to bring you on for the second round. But in the future, let me know. Hygiene check. That's fun, right? Everybody in their underwear. That's always a good time, right? 660 love. Only thing I hated about basic was getting assigned a battle buddy. If you get one that didn't know left from his right, you were doing push-ups for days. Yeah, I remember that. Thankfully, mine was a stud. So this dude was doing push-ups, and we were good. We were all right. So yeah, everybody, thank you all for joining. Today was a little bit different one. where it wasn't just John and I. John is out on his work trip, and so decided to bring some folks on here and talk a little bit about what they have going on, talk a little bit, or just take some questions and answers, some viewer call-ins, things like that. Thankful that we have a great community out here of fellow vets that are willing to jump on and do the thing. I will be releasing some more videos on the Green Logbook this coming week, so look out for that. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. It really helps out the channel, and it helps out getting the word out to more people to jump on the channel. I have a ton of fun doing this. I love the community, so hopefully you do too. With that, thank you all for joining me today on this episode of the Military Retirement Podcast, streamed everywhere on the Military Retirement Podcast YouTube channel, on the Green Logbook, on Facebook. Thought I did LinkedIn, but I didn't do it. Shout out to our sponsors here really quick. Let me pull them up. Shout out to our sponsors, MBMT Financial. If you're looking to do anything financial after you leave the military, or looking to get involved in securing your financial future, check out mbmtfinancial.com. Veteran owned by an Army retiree. So we've had him on the show here many times, Josh, and he knows what he's talking about. So definitely reach out to him. For life insurance, one of the things that I wish I would have done earlier in life insurance, choose American Fidelity Life Insurance. Okay, AMFILife.com. They will definitely hook you up. Let them know the Green Logbook sent you, and they will take care of you. Shout out to ebtravels.com. If you're looking to do Space A at all this year, use code Green Logbook for 20% off of their Space A services. Essentially, this guy created an entire freaking platform online for Space A. It's incredible. It'll send you email updates and all that stuff. It's 45 days for free, but if you want to jump on and get the paid services, use code Green Logbook, all caps, for 20% off of his Space A services. So let me see here. Oliver Russ, thank you for reminding me on that. A book of quips and quotes. Yes, I like that. So I mentioned that in my last live stream on the Green Logbook, pulling together a book of experiences, stories from folks, from several veterans across the spectrum, from all branches. So that is something that not in the works yet, but something that I have on my potentially to-do list there. So let me see here. See your comment out here. Tony Slaughter, is Space A for 100% or what? It is. So there's different categories, right? There's Space A category for active duty, Space A category for retirees, for dependents, for surviving spouses, and veterans with 100% service-connected disability ratings of 100%. So yes, if you are 100%, you can utilize Space A. You won't be in the highest category, but if they have room, you can potentially get a seat as long as you get all your paperwork in. That's why I like the ebtravels.com, EBIEtravels.com, because his service does everything. It sends the email straight to the terminal without you having to do anything else. Usually you have to contact the terminal, you have to email them all the information. EB Travels does all that stuff for you. So that's why I like them. So to answer your question, Tony Slaughter, yes, there is Space A for 100%, Space A for active duty, Space A for dependents, for retirees, all that stuff. Good stuff. Well, thank you all for joining me on this episode of the Military Retirement Podcast. If you haven't done so already, jump on Facebook and join the Military Retirement Group. It's a group of about 3,000 folks, veterans, retirees. You don't have to be retired to be in there, but it's just called Military Retirement Group for whatever reason. That's the name I created, and I stuck with that. Check us out. I'm the admin there, so I will add you, as long as you answer all those questions on there. And then we can share some good information on that platform. So with that, thank you all for joining me today on the Military Retirement Podcast, the Green Logbook, out here.